The following presentation does not represent Australian opinion or intellect. We do not speak for any religious order or ethnic minority. We are not political scientists or uni graduates. We're insignificant upper-lower class scum, comparing notes and airing grievances. It's just our opinion. Deal with it.
No way that the GST will ever be part of our policy. Never ever. Never ever, it's dead.
If they don't like it, go back to where they're parking.
It is a big idea.
No, we don't need them.
A new world order. By 1990, no Australian child will be living in poverty.
Dude, you bring up vaccines, and this is something I wanted to ask him about. I think maybe it was the last. No, I don't think it was as long as the last episode. It was only a couple of days ago because I've actually got it down. I wrote it down so I wouldn't forget. You're here because you're the fucking perfect person to ask as well. All right, let me ask you because I read about it the other day. I had to write it. There's a couple out in Brighton somewhere. I'm not sure if Brighton, Sydney or Brighton, Melbourne. I can remember. And they exercise something called off-the-grid parenting. Okay? Mm. And, like, I don't know what your plan is with your missus in the coming years about having kids or whatever. You've got a daughter, so it's perfect, right? These fucking retards. This is my opinion, right? This is my opinion, and I'm pretty sure you're going to share it, but I just want to know, because we're all different individuals here with different ideas, okay? It's called off-the-grid parenting, right? And it's basically these two hippies that don't believe in, like, standardized schooling, right? So they exercise homeschooling. They've got let me just tell you a bit of the perks about like what this involves, right? So they school their child. They're two children at home. They've got a 5 and like a 3-year-old, right? They school their kids at home. Like they're homeschooled. That homeschooling revolves around being outside, learning about trees and grass and nature, right? They don't feel the need to teach them how to read and write, right? They said by being outside, they're identifying symbols and writing, on shit, and that's all they really need to know at this stage. Like a quote, I swear to God, a quote was literally something like, they don't need to read at that age. They don't need to have that skill.
How old are they?
Like 5. The son is 5, and the child is, the little girl's like 2 or 3, I can't remember, right? I've got a screenshot on my phone, right? They believe in prolonged, like, breastfeeding, right? This kid's getting breastfed at 5. The boy.
I was breastfed till I was 3.
All right, dude, 5. 5.
What's the normal?
Dude, like it's 8 months. 1.
Yeah.
Yeah, right? 5 years old. There's got a picture of this 5-year-old kid.
Sucking on
this
the boob.
man, right?
Man.
Literally just latched on this woman's tit, and she's just smiling like she's like, yeah, sweet. All right, hang on. So they're not going to school, they're not learning to read or write, they're learning about plants and playing and shit like that, right? This kid's getting breastfed till he was 5. They all share a room in the house. They all sleep in the same bedroom. So you got a mother, a father, a 5-year-old and a 3-year-old, still all sharing a room together, and that's going to go until fuck knows when, right? And, hang on. What else is there? Reading, writing, yeah, it's not needed. Oh, they don't believe in vaccines, obviously. They don't believe in medicine. They don't go to hospitals. And this is the interesting thing. They said that outside of when the kid had an asthma attack and they went to the hospital, outside of that, they don't go. And, like, that was it. Like, and because they'll grow up to be independent.
Why did they go to the hospital when the kid had an asthma attack?
No, because obviously their natural bullshit didn't cut the mustard. That's exactly right. Yeah. It's like really, like, so it's okay when the kid has an asthma attack because you realise, well, fuck all. But, yeah. And I just wanted to ask you, do you number one, do you think that reading and writing is a fucking necessity at 5 years old, right? As like, because they said this thing about, the world's greatest entrepreneurs are all homeschooled. Yeah, I'm pretty sure they went latched onto a tit till 5 and then like taught nothing until 10. Like, does that make sense?
Yeah, that's some new age homeschooling shit.
How fucked up is that, man?
Okay, so that everyone always says, the greatest entrepreneurs are.
Yeah, they go up with some random shit.
They dropped out of high school.
Yeah.
Like, yeah, but what if they dropped out of high school to start a company?
Yeah.
Like,
they didn't just drop out of high school.
Like, you didn't drop out and smoke a whole bunch of weed.
Yeah,
just fuck around.
Yeah, they said Bill Gates, like, failed college or whatever.
Like, if you know what you're going to do, like, you can drop out of school at 16 and start an apprenticeship.
Yeah.
And you can be really successful.
Yeah.
But you cannot drop out of school at 16 and not have a plan.
and just sit there.
So for as long as you don't have a plan, you need to stay in school because that's where your options are.
yeah.
Yeah. So whenever someone's like, oh, the entrepreneur did this,
Yeah.
like, okay, you're talking about 0.01% of the population.
Yeah.
The vast majority of people who are successful went to high school, got good grades, went to university,
Yeah.
got good grades.
Dude,
So you're basically playing tax lotto with your kid's future.
Dude, man, I looked at it and I'm like, man, this kid who's latched onto some woman's tit at 5 and still going, sleeping in the same room as his parents, like, not because they haven't got rooms or, like, you know, they're forced to share a room because, like, they're struggling.
It's their choice, yeah.
Yeah. Dude, how do the parents get it? Like, what do they do to, like, cop a root? They'll fuck around to be intimate. What they do in front of the kids. Do you know what I mean? And they're homeschooled, so they're home all day. Like, I just thought, like, what kind of warped fucking household is this?
Yeah.
Where kids at 5 don't have any structure or friends.
Like if you get a pet dog, you need to socialise that dog.
Yeah, man. This
Like-
kid at 5 hasn't gone to school yet, doesn't know
Yeah.
how to read or write.
Yeah.
How else just like, isn't that child abuse?
Yeah.
It's a form of abuse. Like negligence, man.
What? Yeah. I mean, I think Johnny said it the best. I think it was a few episodes ago where he's like, he doesn't yell at his kid. You just sit there and explain why
Yeah.
she did something wrong. And you think that there are people that will yell at their kids, but then explain to their dog why they've done something wrong.
No. Bad dog.
Yeah. Yeah. So
No, you're on the money, man. I know, I saw that, man, and I thought, fuck, man, like, are these cunts for real?
Well, the thing is, in today's day and age, those kids are going to be fucked up because they're so different to everyone else, right?
But, man...
So, like, maybe if the whole world did that...
Do you read to your little one?
Yeah, of course, every night.
Yeah.
can she read?
Oh, she's getting the
She's
sort of
trying-
gist of
like,
it.
she's
Yeah.
got her head around it. You know what I mean? Like, she recognises shit.
Yeah.
Wouldn't you think that's, like, something necessary, man? Just as a point of...
So your brain works by, as far as I'm aware, I'm not an expert. Okay, so your brain works by building connections between neurons. So whenever you learn something like how to read, it essentially makes you smarter. So the more you use it, the smarter you get. So a lot of people complain, oh, when am I ever going to use trigonometry or calculus?
Yeah, yeah.
It doesn't
Yeah, I
really.
made that
It doesn't.
complaint.
It doesn't really matter because when you learn trigonometry or calculus, you are
smarter.
building connections in your brain,
Yeah.
and
Yeah.
then you can use that to
Somewhere it'll network.
in the future. Yeah,
Yeah, yeah.
So it's like school is like going to the gym for your brain.
Yeah.
So I barely
Unless you
ever
go to
have
a
to do bicep curls in real life,
Yeah.
but I go to the
doing
gym
them.
and I do bicep curls, and that makes me stronger at something
Yeah.
that I may not know. So, like, yes, your 5-year-old doesn't need to know how to read, but teaching your 5-year-old how to read, improves their standards.
yeah.
in the future.
Not to mention this kid is sitting at home sucking on tit when he should be at school, like as in another environment with
Yeah.
other people learning to socialise and network. Like, fuck, man.
I think I can't remember, but I think like your personality is more or less set by the time you're 11.
Yeah,
So there is a lot of change up until, for men, I think it's like mid to late 20s.
Yeah.
But after that point,
You're
like
sort
your
of set in who
personality
you are, yeah.
rarely changes. So if you're a socially awkward guy at 25, then you're going to be a socially awkward guy for the rest of your life.
Yeah, exactly.
Unless you really work at it. And the same is said for this 5-year-old. So unless their life turns around by the time they start getting into the early teens,
Yeah.
that's who they are almost.
How fucked up is that, man?
Yeah.
How is that not like negligence or child abuse on that?
Oh, it is.
standard?
It is a form of child abuse.
It is, yeah.
Yeah.
Bad. I was going to ask you this as well, man. Just based on like all these, like the thing you said about the Timorese and like all that sort of shit, and then like the wasting money in desal plants and all that sort of stuff. Right. This is what I wanted to ask. Huh? Did you see what's going on somewhere in oh fuck, is it St Kilda? They cut down a tree. People were picketing and protesting about cutting down 100-year-old eucalyptus or some shit, or a gum tree that's blocking like a lane widening thing.
Yeah.
Down in fuck, I can't. It was on the news like briefly, and I looked at it. I just went, "Fuck, man."
Yeah.
Right. I wanted to ask you especially because you're a greeny dude, right? You didn't see it?
No, I didn't say it.
Dude.
No. So it's a 100-year-old red gum on the side of the road, and they wanted to widen the road.
Yeah,
and
right.
people didn't want them to cut down.
So they chained themselves to like the trees. They chained themselves to like all types of shit. Like these hillbillies, man. If you saw them, man, they just like this guy was wearing like a sandwich board, man, and he was just like chanting,
Potato
like,
sack.
like he was losing his shit
Yeah.
over this tree. Like we had alternatives. The council wouldn't even look at it. La la la. It's like they need to widen the road. They're like,
It's gonna happen, bro.
It's what are the alternatives? Like build over the fucking tree. Like these people were losing their shit and chaining themselves and picking. It's like, dude, there's people dying.
So yeah, I am a hardcore environmentalist, but I'm an environmentalist as in the human environment. So I don't think that we should cut down trees unnecessarily.
Yeah, no.
I have no issue with them cutting down this tree, but you shouldn't go into the water catchment areas and cut down thousands of gum trees that are over
Pragmatic
100 years
sense,
old.
man.
Yeah,
Yeah, totally.
Because, but if there was a legitimate need to do that, I would support it.
Yeah.
So, so Bob Brown, the old leader of the Greens, got arrested in Tasmania for protesting the Snowy Hydro Dam. And that's fine because you want to save the environment, but from where I'm standing, that it is a limited amount of damage to build one of the, I think, the largest hydroelectric system in the country. So I'm an environmentalist because I'm legitimately concerned that we are making our planet uninhabitable for future generations of humans. And I can't go into deep. Maybe.
Well, what?
Maybe next week I can
What
do
is
something.
it? No, what? Go.
I don't have the facts on me. There's a problem, so I can,
That's all
I
right.
can speak
Relax.
from memory.
What you know? What do you? What's his surrounding? Like, what's his?
Hold on.
Dude, if you saw these dudes protesting this fucking tree, man.
can imagine.
Man, they were crying. They were crying. It's like, it brings me to tears just thinking about it. I'm like, it's
one fucking tree.
It's a fucking tree, man.
One tree.
There's all the homeless people sleeping in the ditch in fucking the Melbourne CBD every single night.
Go cry over them.
Yeah, why don't you do something about
fucking
that?
tree.
They're talking about this tree like it was their child, and they're fighting limb for like.
Yeah,
It
man.
got me fucking angry,
It's annoying, yeah.
and it's like, what the fuck?
Yeah.
These fucking old, like, oh my god,
One
man.
fucking tree.
It's a tree.
There's more important issues than one tree. One
Yeah.
tree. Yeah.
You know, a fucking corporation destroys, you know, a section of the Amazon the size of, like, you know, Victoria. Yeah, cool, man. Fucking protest it. Like, what the fuck? Unnecessary. Whatever, man. But
One red gum.
they wasted resources, man. They wasted how much time getting these fucking idiots off the road. You can't get rid of it. Yeah, man, we can.
We're going to.
Yeah.
Get over it.
Cops come in just like, yeah, dude, like, get out of the way. Like, get out of the way. What is this?
The dummies.
Dude, I don't get it, man. They want to talk about wasted resources. Like, I couldn't do it. I couldn't fucking do it. People are fucked. What's wrong with them? Man, fuck.
Okay, so I'm back. Okay, so a common example against global warming is, the environment changes all the time. We don't have anything to worry about. And I think, yeah, but whenever it does, we have a mass extinction event. So the biggest mass extinction event was called the Permian extinction. So what happens is in the oceans, you've got a conveyor belt, basically. So the ocean currents. So it takes water from the surface and drops it down, and you've got the ocean currents.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
Yeah, so as the water warms up, that conveyor belt slows down. And it will stop eventually. Because it did this in the Permian extinction, which means that oxygenated water can't get to the lower depths of the ocean. And when there's no oxygen, all the plants and animals die.
Yeah.
And then something called anaerobic bacteria takes over. So, and instead of taking in oxygen and producing CO2, or if it's a plant, taking in sunlight and CO2 and producing oxygen.
Yeah.
So we get most of our oxygen from the ocean. You get it creates hydrogen sulfide. So when I say I'm concerned about the future of our species,
Yeah.
we're heading towards something, and so this is alarmist, right? So you've got standard global warming, oceans are going to rise this much, climate's going to change this much. So this is alarmist. So what I've seen is there's a bunch of feedback. So you've got the permafrost in Russia is melting, and so all the trees on top of this permafrost are starting to lean over as the ground beneath them leaks, and that releases a whole lot of methane. And methane is a significantly more potent greenhouse gas than CO2. So you have it's a feedback, and it means that global warming is essentially happening quicker than we realise.
Yeah.
And there's other examples of permafrost melting and methane entering the world at fast rates. And there's also, this happened in Antarctica a few years ago. They were observing pools of water that melted on top of the ice sheet.
Yeah.
And the problem is water is blue, ice is white. So when sun shines on the snow or ice, most of it gets reflected back up into the atmosphere. But when it shines on a pool of water on top of the ice, it actually warms up significantly more. Mm-hmm. So they saw these pools of water and they're like, oh, that's weird. And then, like, a few days later, that entire ice sheet just disappeared because there was so much more energy getting absorbed by the snow that it melted it away. Yeah. So there's all these types of feedback, and you've got right now, a lot of our Great Barrier Reef is dying because of the increase in temperature and the ocean acidification. So that's what I'm concerned about. I feel like that if we do not act soon enough, there is, again, being alarmist. So don't take this as fact. So there is there's a good chance that we may all have to live in a bubble. Not us, but your kid maybe. So, like, the biggest extinction in history happened when the transatlantic ocean currents stopped working. And throughout history, the planet has never warmed at the rate it is warming right now.
Okay, but so it's not only a natural thing, but we're contributing to it as well, like speeding it up, right?
Obviously.
Yes. So, think about every time you put petrol in your car, where does it go?
Yeah.
Up. Yeah. So it's essentially a hydrocarbon chain.
I have to ask the question,
it combines
dude.
with oxygen and gets spat out the exhaust as CO2.
I have to ask the question, where does this fit into the Bible, man?
Bible.
Bobby Preacher.
Why weren't we told about this in the Bible?
Yeah.
No, seriously.
So,
do you know how much I'm fucking
like
tired?
about mass extinction events?
All this shit that he's talking about, right? I'm like, the last week, man, like the whole thing with the Islam shit and like all this stuff. You know, there's another pedophilia thing going on in Australia right now? Dude, with the Anglican Church now.
Oh, God.
In Hunter Valley, there's basically like, an it's like the epicenter of pedophilia now. There's these retreats all through the 60s and 70s and stuff.
Of course. Yeah,
of priests, and they're so surprised that it's on the other side of the fence. It's like, dude, they're fucking priests in a major, like, are you serious? What's the difference? Anglican, Catholic, whatever. So I've been like trying to wrap my head around this whole thing, right? Where it's like people, like we've mentioned it before on this podcast, how people put blind faith into their religious leaders and their fucking books, and they, like, now others like talking all this shit, which is science, it's fact, and
some of it isn't meant to be taken 100% seriously, but it is, all the facts are correct. Okay,
yeah, they're facts.
So I'm talking about genetically engineered super soldiers. That's ridiculous. But the things leading up to that are all correct.
Yeah, everything that's in effect behind it.
So don't go thinking I'm some kind of crazy conspiracy whack job.
I'm fucking sick of people using religion as the crutch, like whether it's Islam or Christianity or whatever, and like you're not meant to take it literally, and it's a sign. And so, you motherfuckers, how can you take anyone seriously, man? It's like, dude, you believe some fucking far-fetched bullshit that would not fucking occur ever, and there's no concrete proof of shit. How the fuck are you leading our country?
But when there is significant evidence that we are having a negative effect on our climate, like significant evidence,
and that's just rubbish. Yeah, like, I need to see more proof. What the fuck are you talking about? So
I had another article, and I wasn't 100% going to talk about it, but we went to climate, and I think that it would be fun. So I mean, basically, what I do for you guys is journalism. Essentially,
no, it is. Of course, it is.
So I'm very rough, and I take pride in what I do, and I double check stats. So I will aim for 2 credible sources for every fact.
Yeah,
I don't always get that, but that's what I aim for.
Yeah, but
and if it's one credible source
but
from
the
like
difference is, like, your sources are actually cited sources, man. It's not like your uncle's caretaker gardener who once said some shit and we're meant to fucking believe it.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? Like, you're coming with a reference if we ask for it, man.
Yeah.
We wouldn't have you in here talking shit with us.
So, and and you guys don't pay me for this. I do it because I enjoy it.
Yeah, no
And I'm
one
not-
paid us to set up.
I'm not
the
expecting
dojo.
you to pay me, but this person gets paid for this article. So, I saw this on Facebook. Someone posted
Link.
an article from the Australian where it talked about how the wind farms in South Australia have essentially ruined the electricity grid. So there were a few stats that they got wrong. So South Australia, to their credit, has tried to get more and more wind energy.
Yeah.
And they've more or less succeeded. But this article in the Australian from the Murdoch media,
Yeah.
so it suggests that the state's wind turbines were producing about 5,780 megawatts between 6 a.m. and 7 a.m. But by mid-afternoon, they were producing negative 50 megawatts. So I read this article, and it sounded sus, but I was out, so I couldn't fact check.
Yeah.
So two things. The state's wind turbines cannot produce 5,700 megawatts of power because there's not even 5,700 megawatts of power in the whole of wind energy in the whole country. So not only are they wrong, the maximum capacity of the state's wind turbines are 1,600 megawatts.
Yeah.
So they're out by a couple of times.
Yeah.
So it's
These
not
are
even
spurious, absolutely
Yeah.
like outlandish numbers that make no sense.
And negative 50 megawatts. So when there is no wind, they still have to run lights and computers. So they'll draw some power from the grid. And when I read 50 megawatts, I thought, oh, that's a bit odd. So you guys, we've got a heater in the dojo, and I checked. That draws a maximum 2 kilowatts.
Okay.
So, in order for the wind farms to draw 50 megawatts, they would have to draw They would have to have 2,500 25,000 of these heaters running.
Yeah.
Full bore. So, like, that sounded ridiculous to me, and it was, because Renew Economy did an article where they looked into it, and I've double-checked these figures so you can trust them, So, the biggest negative point was over 5 minutes, so not an hour, just 5 minutes, and it was negative 1.8 megawatts. So, like, 1/25th of their, and it was for 5 minutes.
Yep.
So the biggest negative input for an entire hour was negative 0.09 megawatts. So you've got 50 megawatts and 0.09 megawatt hours.
Yeah.
So, and this was getting paraded around on Facebook, as in, like, oh, we should get rid of wind farms. I'm like,
why?
And I looked at it, and it took me, I couldn't look into the figures, but I could tell they were wrong, because
just on the base numbers,
it's
just
not like when there's no wind, they start powering up the wind turbines to keep them spinning.
Yeah, no shit.
Like, there's
No
only
shit.
so much power a place like that can use.
Yeah.
And I knew a little bit about electricity, and I'm like, 50 megawatts is far too much.
Yeah.
And it was. So,
but idiots will fucking flock to that and start
sharing it and
sharing it like you wouldn't believe, man. Like it's a new religion.
Like it's
and
gospel.
this was in the Australian by a journalist who was paid to write it.
Don't get me started on
And-
articles in the paper that were paid for someone to do.
And they published a clarification. This was supposed to be a front page spread in the Australian. So front page, big news, wind farms are a complete waste of money. And then they post a clarification. And have you guys ever seen where they put the
The
clarification?
retractions.
Yeah, it's like at the very end.
At the very back, at the bottom.
Next to the...
But then they don't even properly clarify. They say by mid-afternoon generation by all wind farms was a minus 2 megawatts, not minus 50. I'm like, no, it was minus 0.09. For 5 minutes in there, it was minus 0.2 megawatts.
Yeah.
Like, so they couldn't even retract properly.
No.
Yeah.
They just sort of said, we sort of fucked up, but we didn't. But we did, but we didn't.
Yeah.
That's how it is. They fucking like... I was going to ask you, man. I was actually thinking about it. Like, you know how, like, you're talking about that mediation, international mediation, whatever it was,
International
right?
Court, Permanent Court of Arbitration.
Yeah, Permanent Court of Arbitration, right? Do you remember what Russell Brand came out saying a couple of years ago? About, like, he basically went on, like, a George Carlin-esque rant live on, like, some show or some shit. I can't remember what it was. And he's like, the government, like, he doesn't vote because he doesn't believe
the
in the system.
anti-government. Yeah.
And they said, well, what should we do instead? And he's like, we need, like, an international, like a permanent media. It's like there'd be like a system that would be policed. Did you ever? You never saw it? Never read about it?
Vaguely, I remember it. Yeah.
Yeah, I was going to say, would you believe in that system? He was basically saying like we need a government that's set up that's completely like it's got full form of integrity that's monitored, unlike the system which is meant to be full of integrity. You know what I mean?
Our elections aren't rigged. Okay, the problem is, like, a big part of it is Rupert Murdoch, who owns, I think, 80% of Australian printed media.
Yeah, it's a
So
lot.
he prints articles like this, which are essentially a lie. Not even essentially, they're just a lie.
Yeah.
So, again, like, I like to fact check before I say. so a large amount of people who buy newspapers see this article and they think, you know, that, oh, Greenie, you're just going to waste a whole bunch of money on wind farms that don't do anything.
Yeah.
I really would have liked to be more prepared for this.
Don't stress, man. Hey, listen, we're just talking here, all right? It's no big deal. But
So-
I know what you're saying, right? It's just about them putting out a fucking idea
Yeah, and-
that will sway everyone, man.
Yeah.
For
So-
whatever reason. And then, like you said, they print the retraction. Do you remember what happened do you guys remember September 11th, like the actual day? Like, the whole day. Do you remember it?
Yeah.
Like, waking up and seeing, like, all the shit going on? I remember coming home from school, right? I was at my mate's joint and we were just watching more Fallout, you know, more news and stuff. And somehow they managed to splice footage of, like, Middle Easterners dancing in the street. Do you remember it?
Yeah, I remember that.
I remember seeing that, man. And I was, what?
Cheering and
2001,
dancing
Dude, I was 16 years old and I saw that and it made my blood boil. Like,
Yeah.
you fucking cunts,
Yeah,
right?
yeah.
And then they, months and months later, or even in the next week, I can't remember when it was, they
weren't-
printed a retraction.
They weren't actually celebrating
No,
it.
there
Yeah.
was like scenes from like Ramadan festival a couple
Yeah,
of weeks
yeah.
earlier. Like,
I remember that
something
too.
completely, yeah.
That's so fucked up.
But by
That's
that point, everyone's mind had already been.
Yeah, it's
even
too late.
mine,
It's
dude,
too late.
16 years old.
Yeah.
Even I was like, what the fuck?
it's in your brain. That's what you
Yeah.
think. That's what you're going to take it as. Yeah.
And then, dude, the first things that happened in the state, that guy got killed. The Sikh, because he had a turban and a beard.
Yeah.
And he just got killed. Like, yeah, you fucking cunts.
Because of that hysteria by the media.
Hysteria, man.
Yeah.
Like, hysteria.
Yeah, totally, dude.
Do you much? And, man, like, we touched on it last episode, like, when we were comparing Al Jazeera and CNN and that sort of shit. And, even people that I talk to, man, whenever because, man, like, I'm not, it's not like I'm anti-Christian, pro-Islam. It's got nothing to do with that. It's just I'm pro-fucking logic and freedom. Like, do you know what I mean?
Pro-human life.
Yeah, pro-human, you know. And they're like, oh, every time you see anything about terrorism, you know, it's always to do with Islam. It's like, no, it's just
Bullshit.
bullshit. It's, well, Murdoch owns 80% plus of media.
Yeah.
Anytime you see something that's sensationalised and fucking like blah, 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 like, for fuck's sake.
And then they quote-unquote take it back and no one...
Yeah, but the retractions are like one sentence at the end of the fucking...
But no one's going to say...
The damage has been done. I mean,
Exactly,
the Australians
dude. Yeah.
should be fined a significant amount of money for lying to the public.
On a front page article, man.
Yeah.
Not even like Sonia Kruger just giving her opinion. We're talking about
Printed.
printed fucking shit.
Yeah.
It's just... And that's the thing, man. You get hippies trying to protect a fucking tree, right? And they're sitting there in tears crying over a fucking tree, wasting, like, our money doing that shit. When you're talking about the oils and, you know, oil or natural resources up in the, you know, the Strait of Malacca, or you got, like, natural gas, dude. Natural gas in Australia. We have some of the biggest natural gas reserves in the world, man, like, as in exporting and shit. So why are we paying so much for natural gas in Australia? How does that make any sense? This is something we're selling to the rest of the world, man. Does anyone give a fuck? No! Like, they don't care. 'Cause it's got nothing to do with whatever their fucking agenda is, man. But then they get on the bandwagon of whatever bullshit comes out.
Yep.
So,
yeah.
I don't get it. Where do you go from there, man? What do we... it's just...
Give us the answers, Arthur.
I love how he's still trying to... He's Googling a fact.
He's very thorough. He's
fact-checking.
thorough. He's a thorough boy.
The unofficial stats man is now fact-checking something.
So this article on the front page of the Australian was alleging that the wind farms were sitting around doing nothing. So surely, if a gas plant was sitting around doing nothing, that would also make the front page.
Yeah, no. Desal.
So recently there's been a lowering in gas prices, which meant that we can't export, we can't make a profit.
Okay.
So a lot of the new gas plants in Queensland are not making a profit.
Are they breaking even? Maybe.
So, and some of them have even closed down because they can't. So they're not bringing any money to the state. So the state funds these things in a way. Mostly they're private. And the same with the wind farms. They're mostly private as well. Yeah, but because of the lowering of the gas prices, they're not making any money.
Yeah.
And yeah, so that's bias, isn't it?
Yeah.
Oh, gas, sweet, that's fine. Doesn't matter if a station or two closes down or doesn't make any money. Like wind farms.
But wind, oh my god, yeah.
Yeah.
No shit.
How does that...
Even my mentality before coming here was like the wind farms are just rubbish because of that shit that you read in the papers or whatever. Like, you know what I mean?
This is why I really wanted to be more prepared. I was gonna had an idea wherever I came next week or whenever I came next week. I'll get you guys to bring in your power bills. So, do any of you guys can you guys get that on your phone at all?
No, actually, I can't get my power bill on my phone, man.
Yeah.
Why? What are you looking for? Like the maximum wattage and shit, output, input, like all that sort of stuff?
No, because it is now cheaper to produce green energy than it is to produce coal energy.
Yeah.
So, okay, so there are a few things you have to think about. So as an Australian, you'll pay between around 25 cents per kilowatt hour.
Yeah.
And people think that's how much electricity costs. That's not what it costs. So that includes the cost of the electricity, the cost of the infrastructure that gets it from the power plant to your house, and whatever
admin fees.
Yeah, admin fees.
Admin fees. Just chalk it up to admin fees.
Always.
It's just admin fees.
When the Labor government brought in the carbon tax, the power company's like, oh, we can kind of charge whatever we want, and the government will just blame the carbon tax.
Yeah.
So,
remind me to say that admin fees. All right.
So last year, I switched my power over to a company that would, I think they're run by the Snowy Hydro system in Tasmania.
Okay.
Dodo.
So, yeah.
Dodo. It's a Dodo outsource.
So every electricity that I use, all the electricity that I use is 100% renewable.
Okay.
Because the Snowy Hydro system, anyone can start an electricity company. We could do it if we wanted.
We should.
So the Snowy Hydro system, like we produce...
Another thing to the list that we're going to do.
Yeah, we produce so much electricity. We're gonna set up a company that sells that electricity. So there is a sort of system where
yeah, dude, my electricity comes from someone that was doing network marketing. They literally, there's a friend of my mum's. She just called me up one day.
Yeah.
It's like, hey, how much you pay for your electricity bill? I'm like, I don't know. Yeah, I read it out to you. I can get you 20% off that. I'm like, how?
Yeah,
part of a company.
Admin fees.
Yeah.
So yeah, I'm with Power Shop Postie, and I'm fairly certain they're owned by Snowy Hydro. So they essentially buy their own electricity through Power Shop Postie and then sell it to me as 100% green electricity. Now, obviously, I'm not getting electricity from Tasmania, but they have to keep a track of the credits. So if they produce so many megawatt hours of green energy, they can sell so many megawatts of green energy to people who buy it. So I'm not getting that exact electricity, but my money is going towards creating green energy.
Yeah.
And obviously you guys don't have your bills here, and I don't have mine set up either, but I would be almost certain that I'm paying less than you for electricity, for 100% green electricity.
That's an interesting fact, but we'll suss it out. I'll look it up when I get home.
Yeah.
Literally.
So a lot of misinformation, and also renewable energy employs more people than coal.
Yeah.
So the idea that moving to renewable energy will mean people lose their jobs is a lie, because a very small fraction of our electricity comes from renewable energy, but it still employs more people.
It's cheaper, it's greener, and we're giving more people jobs.
Yep.
But somehow, like the wind farms are a fucking big hovering menace to the Australian economy.
And Hazelwood is a brown coal station. It's really inefficient, so it produces a lot of CO2 per capita.
Yeah.
And during the Black Saturday fires a few years ago, it caught on fire. The local town had to evacuate because of fear of carbon monoxide poisoning.
Yeah.
and then they gave firefighters toxic water to put out the fire.
Fuck.
Can you imagine what would happen? And at the time I was looking at this, because it was on fire for quite some time, it wasn't in the media. Can you imagine if that happened in a wind farm? Can you imagine if a town had to be evacuated because of a local wind farm?
Ah, fuck, man. Jesus. Forget it.
Yeah.
Let me ask you, like, basically what this renewable energy, like, the way you pay your bill and the way I pay my bill, it's basically outsourcing electricity, right?
Yeah.
And a means of outsourcing electricity, yeah? You guys ever use that app, Menulog? There's a few of them now. Menulog, what was it? We're talking about...
Delivery Hero, blah, blah, blah.
Yeah.
Yeah, Menulog.
I used Menulog last night for the very first time
What'd you
ever. Pizza from the store just down the road, Mario's, whatever, right?
Yep.
I used Menulog for literally one reason, man. I had no cash money on me, and I couldn't remember if they had, like, credit card facilities, and I looked at the menu that they had. I found the menu, and they do.
You can pay for it before. Yep.
Yeah, but I didn't want to go down there and, like, use my credit card, whatever. So fuck it, I'll order the pizzas.
Yeah.
It was just 3 pizzas, man, for the boys when they came past to watch Van Damme.
Yep.
Right? Dude, how much would you pay? How much do you think, like, the lot, like an Aussie pizza, a margarita, it's got nothing on it, and a chicken barbecue pizza, how much would 3 large pizzas from your local, what would that cost?
Just to go in and buy them?
Yeah.
$30, $40.
$30?
Yeah, $30.
You think about $30?
Yeah,
pick
deal,
them up?
deal $30, yeah.
I figured, pay a couple extra bucks for delivery. This pizza shop is literally, like, 300 metres down the road.
Yeah,
like,
they charge a bunch, don't they?
It's nothing, right? Dude, do you want to hear the most fucked up thing? I set it up, got all the confirming texts, pizzas will be there in 40 minutes. I'm thinking, yeah, cool, whatever. It seems to be working. I can trust it. Dude, the pizzas got there in the right amount of time, whatever. And the guy, like, greets me at the door. I take him upstairs, and he kind of looked at me and he's like, where'd you get him from? I go, Mario's down the road. I'm looking at it, it's got some other fucking name on it, like on the boxes. Some other pizza name, like on the boxes.
What?
And I'm like, these don't look right. Look, I've never seen these pizzas, the name before. Like they weren't just a generic pizza box, they were actually a company name. And like, these aren't it. What the fuck? So I looked at, like, and then we pulled the pizza out, and Con's taking a bite, going, man, this is mad. I go, yeah, it's mad, but this isn't the right pizza. Like, this is not Mario's down the road. Like, this is fucking weird pizza, dude. Like, this is not right. Is you sure? Okay, dude, I've been eating at this joint for 3 years.
I know what
You know what I mean? I know the shit.
Yeah.
This is definitely does not feel right. I go, maybe they ran out of boxes from...
borrowed some off someone else.
Yeah, or they borrowed, like, or they bought boxes. I go, no pizza company would fucking do that. Like, buy
Change their
advertising...
name.
Yeah, even if it's the same sister company, they wouldn't use another brand, especially not. And it's not like Mario's is like a Domino's or anything where they've got multiple chains of sister companies.
Just one dude, yeah.
Dude, I looked it up. The company, I can't remember the name of it, right? But I googled it. The pizza company, the nearest store was in Croydon Hills, which is above Croydon. Like,
ages away from your
in
place.
between, like, Croydon and Warrandyte, man.
Yeah.
25, 30 minutes away. I thought, have they started outsourcing pizza off Menulog? Like Menulog and, like, is that what they do? Do they outsource takeaway joints like that where you don't know what you're getting? Like Kogan? Have you ever bought a TV off Kogan or like anything like that?
No, I know what it is, but I haven't.
My TV is from Kogan.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You know, like, okay, you're buying a Samsung, but you got no idea where the fuck it's coming from. Components could be built anywhere.
Yeah.
It's just, could be excess stock in Uzbekistan and like, yeah, here, take it, Yeah. Yeah. Dude, I've got no problem with that. Because a Samsung TV is a Samsung TV. Like, when the first Samsung phones came out, I remember, like, they were made in Vietnam, assembled in, like, Korea, or, like, there was some fucking weird, like... And then, like, when they brought a new batch out, they were better because they were assembled in...
Japan.
Yeah, Japan, and they had components from... Whatever it was, right? No problem with electronics, because it's a TV, right? But I said to Con, man, I go, do you reckon they've outsourced the pizza? As in, I wanted a margarita from Mario's down the road. They were backlogged or whatever. And they say, fuck it. Yeah, get these cunts from Croydon Hills to do it and send it down. I paid 40-something bucks for those 3 pizzas, man.
Yep.
40-something bucks. So there was, a margin obviously made. When you go to pick up a pizza, like on pickup,
Yeah, they get like
under
10
30 bucks.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Do you reckon they've done that?
I don't know.
Honestly, man, what's more likely is to probably set up a fake Menulog account.
Do you reckon?
Well, it's possible, isn't it?
I don't know.
Oh,
How is
I mean,
that
I'll have
stuff
to-
monitored?
Oh, it would be, but I mean, as long as it's not an outright lie.
Outright lie.
But you know how many like with iPhones, how many iPhone-like phones are there?
Oh, Oh, they're all of them, man.
Was it Huey or something? And there's another. It looks almost identical to an iPhone.
Yeah, there's a bunch of them now.
Yeah,
They're all
so-
smartphones that look exactly the same.
Yeah. So,
Man,
how hard would it be to set up when you've got a registered company like the one that you go to?
yeah.
I don't know.
Yeah, I don't know.
But like, think about it. Like, you're talking with food now.
Yeah.
I'm putting that in my body.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean?
You're not getting what you asked for,
Yeah.
in a way.
Like the TV's a TV.
Yeah.
It's got LG branding on it. Like, who gives a fuck? Whatever. But if I pay for a pizza at Mario's, like, literally 5 minutes down the road, and then 40 minutes later, a dude rocks up with 3 pizza boxes with totally different branding on it, I'm like, what the fuck is this?
Yeah, I don't know. I can't answer
It's a
that.
margarita pizza. Yeah, but where did it come from? Who asked these questions, man?
Yeah, that's...
I felt weird. I felt
Yeah.
like, should I say something? Because I didn't notice it until he fucked off, and I'm just walking away, like, looking at these boxes. And when I got upstairs to the apartment, I put them down, like, dude, I don't think this is right. Where'd you get it from?
Maybe
man?
call Mario and ask him.
Get the actual guy down. Do you use Menulog? Like, do you use any of that sort of shit?
Yeah, we use it.
Yeah.
Yeah?
Indian.
Do you find it, like okay? I've never, first time I'd ever used it, just because I didn't have money on me, and my credit card had $40 left.
It's really hard to get an idea of what takeaway food is around you.
Yeah.
Like, you can't Google that because, you've got a menu log.
Brings a list of all of them.
We should totally get sponsored by menu logs. But you can sort it by suburb and by food type. So, like, I feel like pizza.
Yeah.
You go, I'm in this suburb and I feel like pizza, and it'll give you a list. And
Yeah.
then you can, sort by rating. And you're like, this one's got 37 reviews and it's got a 4.5
Rating
star rating.
systems, man, are fucking full of shit on the internet.
But the cool thing is, a
A lot of the time, but if it's got like a couple of dozen,
Generally,
it's hard to,
yeah. I don't know. But then, I started to think, dude, what would the profit margin be on 3 pizzas delivered down from Croydon Hills? Like, that's a 30-minute drive via freeway, tolls included.
How did they get it there on time?
I don't know. It's only 25. They gave me a 40-minute deadline, and
40 minutes.
menu logs always just ridiculous.
dude.
Just must sit on the computer forever.
How do you envision a company like Menulog working? How would it work? Is it just a call center type thing with 100 dudes?
No, I think. So when you order it through the app, it would automatically send an email with your thing to the store.
But someone at the
restaurant,
store would
to the
have to be
restaurant.
sitting there
Yeah.
monitoring.
Yeah.
Yeah, but there's no menu log person sitting on a computer.
No, it's just the
forwarding.
dude that
goes
made
to the store.
the middleman and just said, yeah, cool. But, it's shit like that. I started thinking, fuck, what would the profit margin be on this? Like, if I check my credit card, I'd be able to tell you how much it cost me. It was like $47 or something for 3 pizzas delivered. No garlic bread, no drinks.
Oh, it's always heaps more, dude. We've
Dude,
noticed.
I was just like, $50.
Really?
Yeah, we paid $50 for Indian the other day, when normally it would cost us
Yeah,
like
but
30.
takeout's just expensive. Do they charge more for the menu log if you order it through menu log?
Yeah.
Dude, come on, man.
Yeah, they get a percentage of it. Yeah, it's like $50 for Indian or whatever. And normally it would cost us 31 or something. It's
wow.
it's considerably higher. Yeah.
To deliver it to you. And I thought, you know what? And that's the thing, man. With everything around us, man, we've sort of we just keep slivering everything away, like profit margins and, everything, right? And I'm just thinking, fuck, what would they be making on this pizza if it's cost me $46, $47, whatever, and they've delivered it from fucking Croydon Hills, where the joint is just down the fucking road? Where's the profit margin? Where's the profit to be made? Surcharge 0.2% or whatever, using a credit card, via Menulog. And they're just the fucking machine, man, just getting more and more complex. Does that make sense? Mm-hmm. Does that make any sense to you, dude?
Yeah.
Where the fuck where's this money going, man? You pay for a pizza, it's how much of it's actually going to the dude? How much of it, everything's getting more and more confusing, man.
Yeah.
And especially when you start talking about tax and shit like that. Nothing's... And that's why I laugh when, China just steps up and says, fuck it, we're taking the sea. Why? Because we can. What are you going to do? Do your worst. And, Putin says, we're invading. Oh, we're not invading, we're going over there. You can't do it.
Yes,
we can.
Yes, I can.
Yeah.
Yeah, well, I mean, he just walked into Crimea.
Yeah.
Crimea.
Crimea.
Yeah.
Sorry.
Yeah. He's like, fuck it, we're doing it. Why? Because we can. And we need to do it, so we're doing it. End of story.
Tough luck.
And that's the thing, man. When people do and that's what gets me. That's the funniest part. For
You
me.
know what? Putin invaded Crimea.
No.
So Russia is cold,
Cold.
but it has had 2 warm water naval bases, which means that they are not frozen. Don't get frozen.
Yeah, I was reading about that. I was trying to determine what a warm water base would be compared to a cold.
Yeah, so one of them was in Syria, and Assad was very friendly with the Russians. So you all know how... Was it Syria?
Yeah.
Yeah. You all know how that ended.
Yeah.
And then there was shortly after that Russia invaded Crimea. And that was because WikiLeaks leaked a document that showed what America would like to see, who America would like to see get elected in, what's that country? Fuck.
Middle Eastern country?
No, the one that
in the
Crimea.
Soviet. Oh, you mean like Ukraine or something?
Yeah, Ukraine.
Yeah.
And then, lo and behold, those politicians got elected. And they are, right-wing, pro-American fascists. So this was leaked by WikiLeaks. So this is a document come out before the election where it got it, almost spot on. So Russia's like, okay, we just lost our warm water base in Syria.
Yeah.
And now it looks like we're going to lose the one in
Ukraine, yeah.
Ukraine. So they just walked in and invaded.
Yeah. Yeah, fuck it. But that's what makes me laugh, right? When people do shit like that and the people are stunned and horrified, like, what the fuck? They're not following protocol. Well, it's like, dude, it's like Facebook, yeah? Like, I'm not on Facey anymore. I haven't been on for over 18 months. I fucking love it, right? But it's like anyone that I would have had a grievance with years ago may just forget that I exist because I'm not on Facey anymore.
Yeah.
But if I see him in the street, they think it's all sweet, and I just walk up and just clock him in the face. It's like, oh, what the fuck? It's like, dude, do you remember what you did like 3 years ago? Just because I haven't seen you or defended myself on the internet doesn't mean I don't exist or we've forgotten what's happened. Mm-hmm. But it's like that whole protocol thing. Everyone is now being conditioned to follow protocol. Mm-hmm. Like, you just do shit because it's expected that you do shit.
Yeah, no shit.
It's like, what if I don't want to fucking do it? Mm-hmm. Fuck you. I'll, go against the grain. But we're talking about little things that we're doing that wouldn't normally be against the grain, but we're just so fucking infused in this whole bubble, like with the reality TV and all that. Like, I don't want to keep, bleeding on about the same shit. But it's just like, we're losing all instinct.
Yeah.
All human instinct is like out the fucking window, like no more. Mm-hmm. We just have to do whatever's expected of protocol, like just because that's how it's clocked over.
Yeah.
And like, that's the thing, like, maybe not, with Greeks anyway, with Wogs, man, you go back to our parents' generation or our grandparents, probably even more closely related. It's like, you got married at like 16, like women got married at 16, pumped out their first 3 kids by 22. And then just stayed housewives like for the rest of their lives because that's just what was expected. Like, It's just what was expected. Now, dude, I tell people I don't have a Facey account. They're like, what do you mean? Yeah. And I'm like, I don't. What do you watch on TV? Well, fuck all. Like the footy, maybe. What do you mean? I'm like, what do you mean? What do I mean?
No.
Do you know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
I don't know. Protocol, like that should be the fucking buzzword for like our generation, man. Protocol, standard protocol. That's what's fucking expected, man.
Yep.
You do anything outside of whatever, and now it's just like to the point where it's criminal, dude. You can't protest. You can't protest against the government, man.
Yeah, no shit.
You can't.
Yeah.
You can't protest for shit because then you get locked up as a traitor.
Yep.
I don't know. And how quickly fucking issues turn around, man. Like if it's relevant to whatever. Like, man, like the whole thing, with the North, man, with the detainment centres, for all that sort of shit. It would nothing would have ever happened about it if Four Corners hadn't leaked that shit.
Yeah.
But it'd be going on for fucking years.
Yep.
People would know.
Oh, yeah. Dozens.
Yeah.
There's security guards in there.
Yeah.
And no one bothered to.
No one ever said anything, And the government jumps all over it like, we're moving on it. Like, motherfucker, we've got 100 other issues that no one's ever talked about. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But that kind of behaviour is happening in our detention centres, and there's no... Yeah.
No. So what's protocol? Your vote can make a difference? Really?
It's all confusing.
Yes, it can. Please vote.
Greens.
It can, but like...
Well, vote for whoever you want. Just spend a couple of minutes looking into it.
Yeah, man. But then, like the Pauline Hanson thing, man, right? She's fucked, like... Just the fact that she's on TV, right, and her spurious bullshit facts and her just twisted agenda...
98% of all Australians are opposed to...
Yeah. Seriously. Yeah?
what was it on Four Corners?
Like, as a dude,
Where
keep going. I'm going to suss something out. Yeah.
I've forgotten the word now. I'm going to make fun of Pauline Hanson for not knowing.
For not knowing a word that. Hang on.
So yeah, on Four Corners, a guy offered Pauline Hanson a haram snack pack. So it comes down to halal is translated to lawful, haram is
haram
translated to
forbidden.
unlawful.
Forbidden.
And she's like, "What's that?" And so I've got to think, like, does she even know what halal is?
No.
Probably not.
Because, like, curious guy that I am, I looked into it, and it's like, if it's not cooked with, like, it just has to be relatively clean, and the utensils can't be cleaned with alcohol and can't be used to cut pig.
Dude, what it is how the animal's killed. It's basically it's killed while it's been. It's not a dead animal that's later been like cleaned up and cut up. It's basically killed as close as possible to it being alive in order for all the blood to be removed from it. Because I don't believe that eating, like, other than not eating pig, like pork.
Yeah.
All the blood has to have been removed from the body.
Yeah, which is like standard practice for every abattoir.
Yeah, right.
Like,
dude, do you know where she got the 98%? I'm just realising now, pure luck. Do you know how she came up with that number? 98% of Australians disagree with the halal certification. Because the total population of Australia is 18.2 million, and the Muslim percentage...
It's more than that.
No, according to, like, say, in Google. Right?
Okay.
Google. All right, just Google.
That was like 25.
Yeah. It's more. This is just Google, right?
Yeah.
Total population says it's 18.2.
Yeah.
And the Muslim percentage of that is 2%. 2.09%.
Oh, okay.
There you go.
So there's
she
the
just
math.
fucking Googled it.
Took like 2%,
And she probably didn't even
98%.
do it. One of the idiot staffers would have done it. That's how she got 98%.
That's fucked up.
Dude, I'm not making these numbers up. It's right there. Some dickhead just said, how many Muslims are there?
100 minus 2%. 98. Yep.
Yeah.
That's what it is.
Yeah.
There's 2%, 2.09%. But now, dude, every fucking redneck and every idiot that doesn't know, even like...
It is literally nothing. Like, if I went to buy some Vegemite and it came out with not halal, I would be a little bit suspicious. I'm like, okay, is there pork in there somewhere?
What are they putting in this now, man?
Because for things like Vegemite and most of the other halal stuff, it is literally doesn't have pork in it, doesn't have alcohol in it. That's it.
It's just cleaner and better.
Yeah. And so it's like the Heart Foundation tick of approval, yeah.
I don't believe in the Heart Foundation, man.
So
I want to know the numbers.
So, like,
do you want to hear the Heart Foundation tick of approval, dude? And this is funny because I was talking to my mum about it, right? And I was talking to someone else. My mum was talking about this comedian,
yeah.
This Greek dude, and he's talking about. Oh no, she was talking about Joe Vardy, the Italian. How his whole bit. She went and saw him and got his DVD, and he did this whole bit about how they bought a George Foreman grill for their mother, right? Because they saw it on TV and thought it was sick, saving money, like blah 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 blah. You know what I mean? It's not saving money. It's healthy. You know, it removes all the fat, all that sort of shit.
Yeah.
They bought it. It was great. They loved it. And then at the end of the meal, they took all the bread and they soaked it in all the fucking fat and ate it. Dude, you know what? I laughed my head off because I did that the other night. I fried 2 steaks in a frying pan and then took the oil because it was just I literally just did it there and then. I just marinated the fucking meat. And then I poured some of the oil from the pan into like a bread roll just to have on the because that's just what Greeks do. That's what wogs do.
It's the same as butter.
Yeah, man. It's a butter. It's a fat.
Yeah.
It's a trans fat. Like, and that's what made me laugh. And then you bring up the Heart Foundation tick of approval
Because it. Oh yeah. So, the Heart Foundation tick of approval, halal certification it's all supposed to be like a non-profit organisation. So Vegemite would literally give money to this organisation and say, "Come check our food, make sure it's halal, give us a little tip."
Yeah.
Same with the Heart Foundation tick. You would give.
Some Derek down at the Heart Foundation comes down, lab coat.
It's fine. I want to say that the halal certification is a scam, but not in a scam like it's sending our money
to terrorism.
It's like a good old fashioned Western scam where they just take your money.
Just for the fucking taking your money.
Because we could do this, man. We could go into Vegemite and say, yeah, there's no pork or alcohol in this product.
have a halal certification, you know. And I wanted to try and figure out how much it all costs, but I couldn't find that.
What costs? Getting
a halal certification. So it's probably like with the Heart Foundation tick of approval, it's ridiculous. Like the hundreds of thousands of dollars. Because Macca's got it a few years ago. And it was something like Macca's. Everyone was like, "Oh, it's conspiracy," because Macca's gave them like $700,000 to get the Heart Foundation tick of approval. Yeah, it was a lot of money.
Fuck.
But that's just how these things work. Like you pay them to do the testing.
Money talks.
Yeah, and you also pay like a CEO a couple of $100,000 a year to sit on his ass and make a lot of money.
Let me ask you a question, man. Would you be against helping us start up a religion? And we can use it as a cross-board. We can run whatever propaganda machine you want, man. We'll set up. I swear to God, we can run a pizza store. We can run an electricity company from here. We can run a church. Would you be against helping us set that up? All right, before you become a name of your own, you need this as the back burner story, like to fund your campaign. All right, the way Turnbull is in the Cayman Islands, you start in the dojo, my friend. I'm just saying it because the amount of money that literally goes through these fucking systems of just middlemen preying, not even like preying on the innocent and the stupid, but just middlemen. Like, you know, employment agencies were set out to, you know, create and make it easier and for people to get jobs and look for employment. In hindsight, what they're doing is just creating work for themselves while cutting out. Like, dude, like we all pay through an agency, but the agency gets a fee for like us working.
Yeah.
So for every hour we make, they get a slice of it to pay for their own food. Yep. So why don't we just get the bigger piece and fuck this middle person off? Mm-hmm. Never needed it 20 years ago, right? Like think of it like that, yeah. Mm-hmm. So it's just all these middlemen things that just siphon more money out of the bigger pie, just to whatever. We've said it a lot, and I'm fucking stand by it. We need to start a religion because we would bypass so many tax breaks, like just so many fucking stupid things, dude. Too much money. Like me, I was talking about it with my mum, man, because we were talking about how, like, Nick at his wedding, he didn't have, because it was a Jewish Greek Orthodox / Western ceremony, right? It was a fusion ceremony, which is really beautiful and intricate and unique. But at the same time, they didn't have to pay for anyone to come down from a synagogue. They didn't have to pay anyone to come down from Greek Orthodox Church. They had a celebrant who just did the whole thing, and we incorporated the cultural elements, right?
Yep.
Dude, I laughed about it. Because I remember years ago, I went to a wedding, like years ago, and I was with like an ex or something, and we rocked up to the wedding a bit early. And it was a Greek wedding at a Greek church, and she's like, she just goes, "Oh, I think we're running late." I'm like, "What do you mean?" She goes, "Oh, there's people in there, like going off, like the ceremony." I go, "Nah, mate." I go, "That's the wedding before the wedding we're here." She goes, "What do you mean? I thought they would have had the church for the day." I'm like, "Nah." I go, "People have been lining up, throwing money at this priest for like the last 6 months. Where are you going?"
Yeah.
They've done a christening, a wedding, then we're going to have the wedding we're at, and then we're going to have probably another wedding or another christening after that.
Yep.
Dude, let me give you just put it into perspective, yeah? This is for a Greek, let's just say, like last year, because I was part of a couple of bridal parties, I had to go to the church to get the confirmation papers and add my signature to the list to say this couple has never been married before, blah, 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 right? In the Greek Orthodox Church, man, we paid a fee up front of like 500 something bucks, yeah? Just for the papers to be signed and sent away. And then the woman that was doing all the admin, she was like, "Oh, and the best man on the day has to bring like $200-300 for the priest as well." Right? Not to mention the donations that everyone would have made on the day of the wedding, right? Like as in you walk through the door, you've packed the church out with 200 people. When you walk through the door, you drop a couple coins in the basket for the candle, or when they pass the basket around, give all you can. You know what I mean? That sort of shit, yeah?
Yep.
So already, cold stone cash would plunk down about $800 to $900. Mm-hmm. That's just between the bridal party, man. Mm-hmm. Not including if one of the hardliners in the front row want to give a donation, on behalf of the family or some shit like that, right? So, not including, my mum was like, "Yeah, what about the lambadas, the 2 big candles you need to have at your ceremony? That would cost you a couple $100, yeah? Plus all the other cultural elements which you need to get, like you always see them, like those crowns that I bought for Nick's wedding, right? I've never been to a Greek wedding where they didn't have them. Mm-hmm. Like you need them, they're part of the ceremony.
Yep.
They will cost you, depending on the intricateness and exquisiteness of the crown itself and the tray or however you present it, man, like it's going to cost you a couple $100.
Yep.
Like general run of the mill, yeah? Then keep in mind the fact that this is one ceremony that takes an hour and a half, and you've got maybe 3 to 5 throughout the day. Do the
A lot of
maths.
cheese.
Do the maths. That's 5-6K a day of cash money poured into a church on a lazy day.
We're in the wrong business.
Dude, then my mum was like, yeah, she goes, what about the readings? I go, what readings? She goes, you know, when you go to the cemeteries and they've called down a priest to just say a blessing, you know, at a grave, you know, and these widows are like coughing up money. I go, well, how long do they take? 10, 15 minutes? She goes, if. Are you joking?
5-10.
5 minutes, tops.
Yeah.
And they're handing him like wads. And they just go from grave to grave, like, oh yeah, I got a 10.15 at the Johnsons and I got a 10.20 at the Papadopouloses.
Yeah.
Here's another... Dude, they don't pay for anything else. Dude, the church itself, the property, rent, all that shit's just subsidised and like tax-free. We're going
to start a church.
We need to start a church.
Yeah.
Or a charity.
Charity's a good one. We don't have to do as much work.
Yeah, and
just a mission statement. This is what we do.
So with church is great.
Get outside the box, man. Just outside the box.
So I was trying to find. I was quiet there because I was trying to find the facts and figures, but I couldn't. So I have to ballpark it.
Yeah.
So all the major charities have CEOs. Yeah, CEOs get a nice tidy paid check. Sometimes a couple of $100,000 a year, as a CEO normally does.
Yeah.
So if you, I don't know, name a charity.
I don't know. Who named? I gave money to charities, man. Like the cancer, some foundation.
Yeah,
Make a Wish, Star Foundation. Like
Make a Wish, that'll do.
Yeah.
So you donate money to Make a Wish, and that pays the salary of someone in that company.
Yeah.
Yeah. So I mean, sure, you could start a church, but then you have to go through the paperwork. You have to get enough followers to actually get.
Yeah. How many is it? You need like they got Star Wars verified as a religion.
Jedi,
Yeah.
Yeah. So like a lot of controversy has come out recently with Hillary Clinton's and Bill Clinton's Clinton Foundation.
They've got a Clinton Foundation?
Yes, it's a charity, so you can donate. So a lot of the controversy is I'm not across all the details, so don't look into it yourself. But basically, yeah, people were donating money to the charity, and then the Clintons would do them political favours.
Yeah.
So the right, yes, and yeah, because when you run a charity, you install yourself as the CEO in charge of distributing those funds, and you pay yourself a salary for your job.
5 for me, 1 for you.
Yeah, and there are regulations, so you have to meet minimum standards. But for a charity the size of the Clinton Foundation, because they have name capital, they're pocketing a significant chunk of money, and for charities, some of the bigger charities in Australia, some of them CEOs are literally earning hundreds of thousands of dollars. And I don't know what I was going on with that. Anyway, I the only charity that I regularly give to is fucking I can't remember the name.
Some third eye, like absolute niche band of like
so
freedom fighters.
the only charity I give money to is a company called Kiva.
So there you go.
Yeah.
So what?
Never heard of it.
So
never heard of it. It's somewhere in Peru.
So it's not a charity in the traditional sense because I don't give anyone any money.
Of course it isn't.
No, I get this right. I lend them money.
What do you mean? They pay back?
Yep, most of the time. Some of them are but
what do you mean?
So Kiva. So a lot of the time, like if you're in a third world country, you may not want money. You may not want getting a bag of rice doesn't really help you that much. But you're like, okay, but I want $1,000 loan so I can buy produce or stocks for my business.
Setting up a future as opposed to just teaching a man to fish.
So the minimum you can lend is $25. So I might jump in there and I like this guy's business, I'll give him $25. And then a bunch of other people give him some money, and then they're like, okay, I've got this $1,000 loan. I'm going to go out and buy a bunch of stuff for my store.
Dude,
and then
there's
they
no
sell
need
it.
for diplomacy
Yeah,
here,
so
man.
it works exactly like a personal loan for either of
You're
you.
just a loan shark then, aren't you?
Yeah, and I like Kiva because when I go to give money, I can choose to just give the loan, So I can say, I want to give $25 to this person.
Yeah. Miguel.
But then I also have the option, I think it's like 10 or 25% goes to Kiva, but that's optional, and I can see that. So I know exactly how much money I'm giving to some person.
According to the paperwork you've been emailed.
No, like
that they're telling you that that's where it's going.
Yeah.
Okay.
And
I'm not asking you to fly to Sudan and like hunt down this farmer. I'm just saying
I can choose to give a portion of what I lend to Kiva to run administration funds. But the thing is, then once I've lent that money, they pay it back, comes back into my account. So that's why I know where the money's gone, because it comes back into my account.
When?
So over time, I've got like $150 in there at the moment that I can relend.
Okay. So how quickly does the money get back in your account?
So you pick loan length, so it can be 6 months, a few months, 2 years.
Hey, you know what? Let me ask you a question. You know when like you go to your accountant and they say, have you donated to any charities or whatever, right? And you tell them, yeah, I've donated to this, here's the receipt. Does it matter what you donate money to?
Yes, they have to be a charity.
As in, as in government, even if it's an international charity or an international humanitarian fund or whatever, does it matter what you donate money to?
Yeah, they have to. I can't.
Is there a certification that they like? You literally have to look up the company or the whatever information, the details, and say, okay, they've got this, Australian Heart Foundation to give approval.
Like there's a list of eligible companies.
Is that how it works?
Yeah.
I was gonna say, can you imagine some dude like donating $100,000 to like the gorillas in Sudan? Like finding some relief, like man, I donated money to
ISIS.
Yeah,
okay,
the charity wing,
So, okay, so I've just logged into Kiva. I have $325 of my money sitting in this account, which I'm going to lend live to someone in the middle of somewhere else, and then I'm going to tell you how much money I'm donating. Actually, no, sorry, I've only got 131.
See, they're already robbing.
Oh no! So I've got $325 in outstanding loans. So people owe me $325, and I've got $131 in my.
So it's like you're a philanthropist, but you're not.
Yeah, but I can do it for $25. So I have
issues with a lot of charities because I don't know how much of my money actually goes somewhere.
Yeah,
so
no, that's my big thing. Dude, I had an argument with a greenie, a South African greenie, like 10 years ago at work, man. He's sitting there and he starts talking about all this green shit, and he was studying, like, renewable energy or planetary conservation or some shit like that, yeah? And I said, really? I go, what does that include? Like, he was going to uni to study this. Like, I wrote an article on it, and I'll drum it up to see just exactly. So what I'm saying could be a bit sketchy. But I was going to go, so what does that include? Oh, saving the planet, blah, 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 blah. Like, really? Do you have a car? Yes, I have a car, but, I'm not like that, yada, yada, yada. I'm like, where do you live? South Yarra? Okay, you could easily get to work. Well, this is in Mulgrave. Okay, you could easily get to work.
Is this a person, me?
No.
Having a car in South Yarra?
No. He goes, okay, you could easily get to work without a car, man. Okay, there's 100 train lines. There's 2 train lines that run near here, and there's buses and shit everywhere. It might add about 20 minutes to your transfer, maybe it'd be even quicker traffic from South Yarra. Like, I remember it, like, plain as day. Look, I drive a car, but I pay he pays a levy for the extra trees to be planted on his behalf, all right, through some charity or some shit. I'm like, really? What are these trees, man? What's the company? And he said the name of the company, like some random company. I'm like, yeah. How do you know they're being like? How do you know? Like that's where they're being planted. Oh, they sent. I go, have you gone out there to physically fucking plant these trees? Have you bought the seeds and sent them? Or they send me photos. What photos?
Just some random shrubbery. Here's your trees, mate.
What photos, man?
Yeah. Which is okay. So that's a problem with charities. You don't know exactly where your money's going. So with Kiva, if you want to do charity, I really recommend it because I've got $131, which I got back from people. So this is I can relend this. I think I put in $1,500 years ago, and through donations and people not paying back their loans, so it's like a 98% chance you'll get all your money back.
Yeah. So like the money goes to tangible startups and stuff like that.
So
where are the countries? Can I ask you where the country's based?
All over. So my first option, well, the one they suggested is a lady named Tatovic from Armenia. She needs a loan of $2,100 to help pay for 20 hives to develop a beekeeping and business.
Okay, like a honey harvesting thing.
Yeah, and I get a photo of her.
She's not naked. That's good.
That's a good start.
or you can also post to groups. So this group's called the Honest Group.
Yeah, they're very honest.
In Zimbabwe, they want a loan of $1,000 that will help their members buy clothes, tailoring supplies, so that they can improve their stock of finished goods. So they're a tailoring company.
Yeah.
So they want to buy, stuff. And I could choose to loan. So, okay, do we want to loan to the beekeeping lady?
I love how that photo cuts off at her right shoulder. Then there's the AK just stashed right underneath her left shoulder blade, the right shoulder blade.
So keep in mind, I have
Smile.
And there's a guy monitoring it right now. Arthur's money's gone in. Done.
Arthur's such a good dude. He's such a better dude than me. I'd never even think. You know what I mean?
He's a lot better than me.
This is not this is something
You
I set
give
up
charity to people
years ago.
I would never even think to do that.
But this is kind of fun. Okay, so I want to give. Got a full photo. There is no AK.
Dude, she looks like my cousin in Greece. I swear.
And that's a legitimate business. So I'm gonna give her $100.
Okay.
Lend her $100.
Can you imagine the seedy underbelly of this? If there was a dude literally preying on some dude just saw that, thought, yeah, got a mail order bride happening right now. Give her $1,000.
Okay.
Do they ever? Can I ask you a question? Can they ever correspond to any of the people that they don't?
Yeah, I get emails all the time from these people.
Oh, so they might literally, allegedly.
Yeah.
It's a.
Don't be so skeptical, Dim.
No. Because think about it. All it is, he's doing it from his phone. And all it is a bank account and photos on the internet. Dude, my ex got scammed 6 years ago when we went to Mykonos. She bought a crazy ripper deal from a hotel, right? We got to the island. No one came to pick us up at the fucking port. We're sitting there with suitcases. We get to the hotel by ourselves. They're looking on the computers. They can't find shit. And then they're they said to me, these Greeks, man.
Who'd you get a ticket
I
for?
think you got scammed, man. I go, well, I didn't book it. I go, my missus did. So she's gone. I go, listen, go check your bank account, yeah? The transaction on the bank account was in Turkish lira, right? And she freaked, and flipped it. What the hell? I go, dude, it's no big deal. I go, it's a couple $100. It's not a big deal. I go, you got scammed. It's an internet scam. Big deal. At least you've isolated it. Hit insurance, call the bank, cancel whatever you got to do, and that's it. And then she ended up losing her shit at me because I was so calm about it, right? And then she's like, "But how the website was fine?" Okay, sweetheart, it takes 2 seconds to set up a website with a couple photos. Are you joking?
So this is a registered charity, so they have oversight.
Yeah.
Okay, so I'm gonna lend her $100, and Kiva want me to make a donation to them of $15 for administration. Does that seem reasonable to you guys?
The administration fees.
Is it $15? Because I can remove it if I want.
No, you dude, it's your money, man. Don't take financial advice from me. I have peanuts for dinner every night, man.
Or me.
I'm wearing the same shit I was wearing the last time we saw you. I haven't washed them.
Okay. let's say $15 is unreasonable. So I'm gonna.
But you know what, man? $15 for an administration fee. Do you know what that administration fee is? They've literally set up an automated service. You send the money through, the computer figures it out, or so. I don't know how big this charity is, how many people have got, how big their administration offices are. Do they have a call center of 100 monkeys working at typewriters? We don't know.
They've got lenders that travel around and they work as a bank.
Okay, but think about it. This is the administration fee right now. Some dude has just seen doo-doo, you've got mail. Not even. It's just come up as a little blip. It's $15 from, Australia, from this guy. Yeah, cool. Where's he sending it to?
But how many charities can you give to where you know exactly how much money goes to the person you want it to go to?
I'm not knocking that. That's a really good thing, dude. What I'm saying is we're just taking it, in the good of our hearts, that
they're doing the right thing.
Yeah, and
no, they've got oversight.
Hang on.
Every charity has
My
oversight.
thing is the $15 administration fee. All right? How many transactions do you reckon they're dealing with every fucking hour of the day?
It's not a $15. It's just 15%.
15%.
So if I lent $25, it would be...
Okay,
yeah.
So in that theory, the bigger the amount of money you send, the bigger the administration fee is going to be. It's exactly the same transaction every single time. It'll take about 3 seconds. And I'm getting into this, dude, because my body corporate and like the building have been at like a fucking war of the wheels, man. Because they were charging us stupid amounts for administration fees and shit like that, and they're still doing it. And we're actually locked into a contract, which is another fucking story, right? But they're charging us stupid amounts for administration fees, like ridiculous amounts. Like one email's $10. Like, what do you mean? You're sending an answer back in email form. You're picking up the phone to talk to me for 3 minutes. $80. Like, I'm not even joking. Like, stupid shit. But think about it. Firstly, they're working on a percentage of the fee that you're handing over. So in that theory, you want to give $1,000, the administration fee is going to be, you know, $150 or $10.50.
$150.
Whatever it is, right? So you give like $10, it's going to be a lot smaller because there's less work. There's the same fucking work. There is no administration fee.
Yeah.
Number two.
Which is why I can choose not to lend it if I wanted.
That's what I'm saying. Why even have it as a fucking fee on anything? Administration
because
fees.
It's
It's a
transparency.
way to make money.
Oh no, yeah. People are getting paid to do this. Like there is some person somewhere
Yeah,
who has
no
to
one's
walk
losing
up to
money.
this person in Armenia and give her $2,100.
No one's losing fucking money. But what the cop out for me is all these little increments everywhere where it adds up, and you just end up getting raped of like more and more fees, incidental fees along the way. Like, you know, driving a car.
But if you were going to give to the Red Cross or any other charity, you have no idea how much
Dude,
of that. You don't know how much it goes to
don't get me wrong.
administration.
Zero knowledge.
I know exactly.
Dude,
yeah.
don't get me wrong. That is a really good system.
Kiva.org.
Dude, that's a really good system, and I'm
Yeah.
not knocking it, right?
Yeah.
What I'm pissed off
This guy
about
works for them.
is he's got the t-shirt.
Also getting paid by menu log.
He goes outside, there's a guy waiting with food from Menu Log, and he gets in a Kiva.org car and just drives into the distance. Dude, I'm not knocking the system. That's a really fair way to be transparent or whatever.
Yeah.
What I'm saying is the incremental bullshit that we tally up on every single thing we do.
Which would go into the millions if you add it all up. Like,
Yeah, man. Like driving a car, like on that Quanda episode months ago. Sorry, man. Quanda episode months ago when that dude was saying if you're in a low-income household or you're on a pension, you're not going to be paying any tax. And then the dude fucking uppercutted him and said, I pay tax every time I get in my car. I pay tax every time I buy groceries. Dude, the incremental bullshit that has administration fee.
It's like the
What
Eastlink.
administration fee?
Yeah, it's like the Eastlink, man. Like a trip that would normally cost me $3 ends up costing $17 just because they send a bit of paper.
Yeah.
Same thing.
Dude, when you buy a movie ticket, a movie ticket, a
$2.
fucking movie ticket, $2 account administration
to book it
fee.
online. You are saving them money.
Yeah.
You're not wait. Yeah, they
I
charge
literally,
you $2
no
to
one
save
needs
money.
to monitor it. There's no one standing at a gate cutting me a ticket. They're not giving me a physical ticket. They're not saying, have a good fucking night. Here you go. Here's your ticket. They're not doing shit. I fucking buy it. I source the seat. I buy it. I print it on my fucking printer or I use my phone.
You do all the work.
I do all the work. I go in and I sit down.
And they charge you $2 for the privilege. Dude.
Why? You're using the privilege for me to use my phone, and at the same time, I'm using data. I should send them a fucking B. Say, listen here, buddy. I used such and such worth of data to fucking make this transaction. Where's my levy? I want a data levy for using your services. No, well, you can't do that. And then there's the rest of the tax that's thrown in on top of it. Credit card surcharges. There's a surcharge. Dude, what are you seriously paying? 2% surcharge on like the pizzas that I bought last night. Again, on the theory, it's a 2% surcharge. It's not a flat rate of 50 cents because that's what the transaction costs. It's 2%. So if I bought $200 worth of pizza, there's a bigger, heavier transaction there at stake. What are you out of your fucking mind? It's the same numbers.
To bring it back to the Greens, one of their policies this election was to make it illegal for a company to charge you more than it actually costs to use a credit card. So none of that 2% stuff.
Go to Greens.
It's literally what it costs, and it's illegal for them to charge you more. Because when you go to a cafe or something, it's like the minimum spend is
$15,
or it costs you $1 to use your card.
Yeah,
they want to make that illegal. So to make it.
Yeah, because there's a transaction.
And the same with ATM transaction fees.
That, dude.
Oh, the amount of money I must have given to ATMs.
I blatantly used to refuse to do it because it's like, fuck you.
But it's expensive now. It's like $3.
Yeah, it goes
$3 I paid the other day.
Yeah, it's $2, $2.50, $3, $3.50. And it's like, what am I doing? I'm using my money. Like, what the fuck? And I would flat out like outright just be against it. I would walk the extra 500 metres to find a Combank or a Bankwest thing and be like, no, fuck this. I'm not giving them 250. And everyone would be like, oh, you've been a Titus for. Listen here, dickhead. If I did that every fucking week, every time I needed money, man, you'd be paying like,
Yeah.
Do you know what it's like? It's like work, dude. You know when we work and if we do a full day's work, we're entitled to 15 minutes in the morning, half an hour lunch break, which we pay for. Yeah, so that's why we work 8.5 hours or 9.5 hours or whatever, and then we get another 15 minutes at the end of the day. And you know when they cancel out your orders or AAA or whatever, and you end up leaving 45 minutes early without using your last break? Unless I physically had to get to somewhere, or like I just could not be fucked sitting at work, I would take that last break if I was within that last hour, every time.
Yeah, hands down.
And someone would say to me, why are you doing it? I said, why? That's 15 minutes of the day that I'm entitled to. I've already paid half an hour out of my pocket to have the privilege of eating lunch after working 6 hours.
Yeah.
All right, I'm already paying that up. So fuck it. I get 15 minutes. I'm taking my smoko. Oh, it's only like what? It's $7. Like we figured it out. I remember when we worked it out. Like someone threw the number at me. Oh, you don't much of a tight ass. It's only that much. I go, yeah. Listen here, dick. I go, you do that. 15. If they rob you, 15 minutes of smoko every day times 5. Right? 15, 30, 45, 60 minutes. Right? That's an hour and 20 minutes. Hour and 15 minutes
Times 50 people.
of your smoko every week that you're entitled to that you don't get paid for. That's an hour's work. So that's 4 hours to 4.5 hours per month. Whether you're earning $15 an hour or $20 an hour or fucking $30 an hour or $60 an hour, that's between, $100 to whatever, $100 to $200 a month that you would be getting robbed of. Oh, do you want the 200, man, or do you want to just go home early? You know what I mean? And they stare at you.
But it's the same, like... Yeah, so I'm the same. If I work for 7 hours, I'll take my last break.
Fuck oath.
Because, we go home after 8.5, so I'm like, well, yeah.
Yeah.
Well, not... Anyway. If it gets to, 4:45, I'll take it.
Yeah.
But, yeah, if I want to sit in the canteen room and relax for 15 minutes...
Yeah.
Instead of doing that at home...
Yeah.
And it's not like when it happens, it's not even I'll just take my break to the nearest, hour.
Yeah,
So finish at
exactly.
5:50,
Even
I'll
if
take
it's a
my 15-minute
5-minute
break and then
smoko,
leave
man,
it.
I'll take it.
Yeah.
I did it. I've done it twice in the last week, where it was like 10 to 5, and I said, you know what? No, I'm not signing off. I'm going up to get my bag, grab a coffee, and just chill because I'm entitled to take that. And times. And I asked someone the other day how many casuals there are on the floor at any given time, and they said between 50 to 60 on a regular day. To do the maths. 50 times, 15 minutes of their wage per day.
Fucking adds up.
2 shifts, or 3 different lots of workers, 3 shifts, times 7, because it never shuts. We don't shut. All right? How much money is there? That just goes up in the air, like, yeah, whatever.
Shit tons.
Yeah, no shit.
But, bring it back
This is
to
about the Greens.
about politics. So there's this idea in business at the moment where if they can squeeze $15 out of it at the end of the week, or so the idea of not paying people penalty rates, it's an idea that they can squeeze more out of their workers. And sure, you might pay someone. I don't know how much less we'd earn. We don't earn 2.5% times on Sunday, but they could squeeze a couple. $100 or $200 out of us. In terms of the running cost of that factory, there's 50 of us times 200. They could make themselves a decent chunk of change. But at the end of the week, how much does it cost to keep that place cool? How much does rent or mortgage cost? How much does maintenance?
They're not running at a loss.
Yeah, so there was.
It goes back. You know what it goes back to, man? This is the most insulting thing. What do you reckon? If you had to pick the most insulting thing in our workplace, and this is brilliant too, because we all work in the same place, right?
Yeah.
And we've all been there for around the same amount of time, so we've all seen the changes that have been implemented in the last 5-6 years. What is the most insulting thing to you in that workplace out of our job? Period. Can you think of something? Like there's just you're like, what the fuck?
I can tell you.
Here we go. Okay, I want to hear the Prince's thing.
So we all work pretty hard. Like our job essentially requires us to lift well over 1 ton per hour for up to 36 hours a week. It's hard work, but we are limited in how we do that job.
Yeah.
So, and I used to come into work and we'd get a performance, and I'd pick like 120%. Like I was a gun because I wanted to be good at my job. Like I still want to be good at my job.
None of us in this room, dude. None of us in this room go into work thinking I'm going to do the biggest half-ass fucking job. Like if we're set about doing something, we're going to be honest about it, and you cut a corner when you can make it easy for yourself. But none of us hide in the dunnies for like 4 hours a day, right? Or like keep taking breaks to up our performances and shit like that. We're all pretty honest when it comes to that.
Yeah.
I think that's fair, right?
Yeah, for sure.
I can honestly say that about us. Yeah.
Yeah. So it was back in a meeting in the battery room, and the manager the new system had just come out, the new voice pick system, and it wasn't particularly great. And everyone was having a lot of trouble, and performance of the warehouse was down. Yeah, and the pallet dispensers wasn't working. There was a lot of stuff in the warehouse that wasn't up to scratch. And the manager says they got in trouble because they were going around telling people to pick harder, but they're not technically allowed to do that. So they said, we don't want you to work harder. We want you to work more efficiently,
smarter,
not talking to anyone and taking less breaks.
Yeah,
which is a definition of working harder. And like this is a few years ago, so I was much quieter than I am now, and I lost it, and I stood up, and I'm like, it's like, and when you're so
the
angry
David
because
just came out,
because
whole shirt just explodes.
Efficiency is literally getting more work done for less work. If you're taking less breaks and not talking to anyone, you're doing more work, which is working harder. And
by definition,
I went up there and I said, it's not our job to be efficient. You said just a minute ago you wanted us to be like robots. We can't choose how to pick our order. We can't make the pallet dispenser work. And he just like, oh nah, just work harder. And from that moment, like, no, I'm not going to come in here and bust my back. I'll do what is expected of me.
Yeah.
And I'll stack my pallet nicely.
Yeah.
I don't pick more than 100%, or I don't intend to. Sometimes I do. But
whatever you do, you don't do it half-assed, but you don't go above and beyond to kill yourself.
Because they're going to put out millions of dollars on a system, and they're going to try and squeeze that little bit extra out of me.
Oh, fuck you.
I mean, the pallet dispenser hasn't worked from the day they got it.
Yeah, man. Dude, I completely...
4 years, it still doesn't work.
I completely sympathise, man. Because I laughed even a month or two ago, when they said you can walk on pallets and shit like that, but they've been drumming it in our heads that we can't walk on pallets.
Yeah.
And now it's suddenly okay to do it.
Yeah.
And I said, but dude, it's the same safety concerns.
So did you guys hear about what's going on at the Carlton United breweries?
Oh, yeah. They sacked everyone and then offered them their same jobs back at half the rate.
Yeah. So they literally... So it's 55 workers. They got called into a meeting.
Yeah.
Without any prior notice, like, oh, you're fired. They were then invited to reapply for their job with a company called Catalyst Recruitment. So, like what we do now.
Employment agency.
Which is, So, we have no guarantees at our job. So these people were union workers, full time, had all the benefits. So they would get a redundancy. They would have holidays, sick leave.
Yeah.
But when they get reapplied, they don't get any of that, and they get paid. So all that equals 65% less money each year. And that was 55 workers. So that's like a chunk of change. So I don't know. Say, let's be generous. Let's say 55 workers, and they all lost $100,000 a year. That's $100,000 a year. That's a lot of money. It's nowhere near that because they didn't lose $100,000.
No,
but
nowhere near that. No one would have been on $100K even with their benefits thrown in.
But Carlton Breweries made a profit last year of $4.4 billion. And guess how much the CEO earns per year?
I don't know.
$500,000.
Oh, be generous, Johnny.
Rubbish is it?
He's running the company, man.
He's running the alcohol.
He puts in the hours. He's a hard, honest working man.
So they're going to save at most $55,000. No, 50. Sorry, I got it wrong.
50 workers times
$500,000.
Yeah, which is we're being generous, like because no one would have been making $100K after benefits and shit.
Yeah, no, sorry. Yeah,
it doesn't matter either way. Hang on, man. Yeah. Hang on.
Yeah, it's 5,500.
Hang on. Let's just be serious.
$500,000.
55 workers times 100,000. Yeah.
Yeah, it's 5,500,000.
It's 5 million.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah.
5 million.
So
5.5
Okay,
mil.
5 million. So that's how much they're saving. Sorry, couldn't do math in my head. Good thing Dim's got the calculator.
Stats man.
So $5.5 million dollars. Yeah. Max. They made $4.4 billion. How much does the CEO earn? So they fired these people to save money.
They fired 50. So put it into perspective. All right, now we've got the numbers.
This company making $4.4 billion.
Here's the big.
Worrying about making a profit, so they fire their workers and rehire them with less benefits.
Okay, think of the big numbers, right? Like, if I had a fucking big screen right now, I'd put them up in big red writing, right? So you cannot miscalculate this. Profit $4.4 billion. They were worried about profits and, the company going down the gurgler. So they sacked 50 workers, saving at a generous, and we're being generous because, all right, it's probably a lot less. They saved a theoretical number of $5.5 million, all right, which should be less than that.
A lot less.
What do you reckon? The big boy at the top of the fucking pack, right, sitting in his office playing with himself, what do you reckon he's making per year? Mind you, 50 individuals are now out on the street.
Yeah.
All right, and
these people have mortgages. And
50
they literally may not be able to live on half the money they're earning.
Yeah, literally. And that's the other thing.
And they will get made redundant, so they will get a redundancy payment. But that's part of it. I mean, when they go back to their job, they don't get redundancy.
Yeah. When they go back, they got rehired. The opportunity to get rehired, right, at half the rate. So imagine us getting back in, and they're like, you know what, you're going to make half the money you're making now. If that happened to us, I wouldn't be able to survive. I'd be selling drugs or selling my ass, one of the two, or both.
Both, yeah.
All right, I'd be drugging up this dude and then bending over for a good hour, straight up. All right, that's the only way I'd survive, outright. I'm telling you now.
Yeah.
All right, I'd be sleeping on Arthur's couch. There's no way.
I'll be sleeping in the dojo.
Yeah. There's no way, right? I want to know this number. I'm not even going to guess because it's going to sound like a fucking idiot, but I want Johnny to guess.
750,000.
Come on, mate. Stop messing around. Okay, they're saving. 5.5 million, okay? Per year. Think about it. How much does CEO guy make per year?
$1 million.
Look at the naiveness. You are not in tune. You are not in touch.
How much money would you need to run an organisation like Carlton United Breweries?
$4.4 billion, mate, they made last year. Off the sweat of off the back of this man, this great man. Yeah, what's his name? I want to know this guy's name.
Alan Clark.
Oh my God,
Mr. Clark.
Mr. Clark, the starchiest bloke. Just
Alan.
Alan, we need to increase profits. We only made $4.4 billion last year.
It's not good enough, Mr. Clark.
I theorise we sack our individuals. We'll make a good sturdy $5.5 million off that, and we'll hire them back at half their rate without their benefits. That sounds like a plan.
Yeah,
Alan, that's the stuff dreams are made of. That's
so
brilliant.
How much did he get paid?
How much does this bastard make?
I don't know.
You sat at $1 million here.
$1 million. Johnny, it's $62 million a year.
How about he just give $5 million back, motherfucker, Mr. Clark?
Exactly.
Take $57 million, you cocksucker.
Yeah. 62. This guy.
What did I say? $500,000 at the start. Oh my god.
$300,000.
10 times the amount of every employee.
Best case scenario.
Yeah. The absolute best case scenario for every employee in this fucking brewery that make the gears turn, that fucking put the cogs in, that do the work.
Breathe in toxic fumes.
This cunt makes 10 times what the entire warehouse makes, the production line makes. So he sacks him to save a tenth of his salary.
I think they're electricians as well.
Okay, whatever it is, man.
So they run the actual
62
brews.
mil?
Yeah.
So they did completely dangerous work as well.
62 million.
Skilled work. Like these
Skilled
people
work,
know,
risking their lives.
Yeah.
Yeah. 62 million.
But
that's just, they should fucking burn the place down and kill that guy.
Yeah, because, what, you think he's sitting in the offices upstairs? Fuck off. He's sitting in his 2-rack apartment.
Man, he's out in Panama. What are you talking about?
Yeah, he's on a yacht somewhere, going down the docklands through the oil slicks, just popping open a bottle of brew, like, nah! Not even the product that they ship, you know.
So again, if you're a Liberal voter, you might be thinking, oh, this is a good thing. This means, you know,
be able to make
reinvest in
beer
small
cheaper.
business.
Well, you know. But okay, so let's put this in perspective. So these guys getting paid a lot less money now. Which means they can't
What, so
buy-
they opted to take the job back at a lesser rate?
No, I think they're on strike.
Yeah, they're all striking.
Well, like, they can't strike because they got part-time workers in to do their job while they...
Yeah, don't you remember when that happened down at the docks? Years ago, man. I was
happens all
still
the
in
time.
high school.
Happens in abattoirs. It's
Yeah.
illegal, to be fair.
They brought in casuals to take over, and they just created like a blockade and said, "No, fuck you, cunts. You're not coming in to do our work at half the rate." You know, I don't, and that's the thing, man. Every time those things used to happen, I never blamed the casual workers coming in because they don't know where they're going. It's just like
They're just like, jobs,
yeah,
mate.
I've signed up.
So Carlton Breweries have managed to save themselves at best $5.5 million.
At best.
Seriously,
At
why the
best.
fuck doesn't Mr. Clark just give $5 million back?
Because you'd
You're
like...
humanising the
Why does
man.
anybody need $60 million a year?
you're
62.
Too kind, Johnny.
Why?
He definitely needs that money.
Yeah, there you go. He definitely needs it.
But okay,
For what?
Well, to fund his coke and third wife out in the Bahamas, man. I mean, the
Makes me
man,
s- dude, it makes me sick.
You can't expect the man to live less of a life than he's accustomed to.
Even just $1 million a year.
But do you know what that's like, man?
What the fuck?
Dude,
It's
do you
so
know what
frustrating.
do you know what that's like, man? It's like when these women, all right, and I'm not pigeonholing women, I'm just using this scenario, right, because a lot of deadbeat dumb cunts out there as well, right?
I love women.
I love women, man. It's like when they're married to like a sports star, like a Kobe Bryant, or they're married to Mel Gibson or whatever, yeah, and then they go through a divorce.
Oh, yeah.
And
they
it's
need-
like the woman has been accustomed to a certain lifestyle.
She can't go back.
She can't go back. She needs to have this certain lifestyle maintained for the next, 20 years. What's the settlement? And they get allowances of like fucking 80 grand a month, like living allowance of 80 grand a month.
Yeah.
And they use the guise of, well, the child needs to be put in school and I'm putting food in, I've got sole custody of the child. It's like, dickhead, come on. If you're living large as a Hollywood housewife, you're not fucking on your hands and knees scrubbing stains out of the back patio. Like,
God, no.
do you know what I mean?
To be fair, there are also plenty of men that have done this to their
Yeah,
rich
no,
wives.
exactly.
Yeah, like it's
Yeah.
and it's ridiculous on both sides.
Yeah, it's fucking stupid. But like, it's that sort of shit, man.
What's this cunt doing with $60 million a year?
He's just reinvesting in other shit to just avoid doing anything.
It's so fucked up.
Yeah. Okay. Making it political again. So this is sorry. I have a narrative that I'm trying to stick to.
Okay.
So these guys, this warehouse gets away with it. Liberal voters and right wingers are happy. Yeah, free market. People should only be paid what they're worth. And then the warehouse down the road does the same thing.
Yeah.
And free market, best thing ever. Warehouse down the road does the same thing, and then on and on and on. How much less money is there now in the Australian economy to buy beer?
Yeah, because all these workers, they would have had
Don't have that disposable income.
they would have
to buy
had an
beer.
extra $100 a week to spend
Buy
on the
their slab,
slab.
yeah.
Dude, I don't buy slabs of beer, man.
And
I don't.
and
I
it-
do not buy slabs of beer anymore.
it's exactly the same thing that frustrates me about Malcolm Turnbull's getting rid of penalty rates policy.
Yep.
Because we, say hypothetically, we lose $200 a week.
Yeah.
So we could live through that.
Hey.
It's not going to be pretty.
Could we?
I don't know who you're with, buddy boy. He just goes home and just gets his paycheck, just throws it on the stack of money, just a pile. I need to go buy a new car. Yeah, just take it from the money in the study. It's fine.
we
Count it
could
later.
live. But the fact is, it's not like we're saving money. Yeah.
man.
So the money that $200, we pay tax on it, and it's the last $200, so we pay 30% tax.
Yeah.
So $65 of that $200 goes straight back to Malcolm Turnbull
Yeah.
and the government. So they're shooting themselves in the foot straight away because they're down $65 less from my 1 week of pay work, and then the rest of that money I can't spend because I don't have it. So I'm not going to go down to the local fish and chip shop. I'm not going to go get my hair cut,
No, dude, I cut my own hair.
or I'm not going to go wash my car. It's not going to get back into the economy. So a small business may be like, this is the best thing ever. I can pay my workers slightly less money, but at the same time,
It's not good for the overall scheme of things.
yeah, you might save yourself a couple $100, but you're going to have a couple of people that can't come
That's
into your
10 more
workplace.
families.
and
10 more
spend-
families
yeah,
that aren't coming into your shop to fucking buy whatever the hell you want to be
Yeah.
selling.
Yeah.
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 Like, so you guys are a big fan of the morning television.
I love it. I lost my shit this morning,
so,
dude.
so those guys are earning up like big bucks, yeah.
What do you? Yeah, I was always wondering. What do you reckon they make? A couple hundred.
Oh,
I'm done with
Millions,
guessing.
man.
Depending on who you are, Kochi,
Wasn't it Kochi makes millions?
Yeah, Nick had said that Kochi made like X million or whatever.
Yeah, so
And I said,
it's
for what?
Koshi might totally be into the idea of him paying less tax and poor people paying more tax.
Yeah.
Because he would be in the top earning bracket, he would be paying a lot of tax.
Yeah.
So he might be like, yeah, it's the best idea ever. But at the same time, he is essentially a salesperson. So he like, if a government comes in and decides, oh, we're going to have a flat tax, so everyone pays the same 20% tax. He's going, yeah, I'm going to be earning a lot more money in my pocket.
Yeah.
But at the same time, people like us are going to be earning a lot less.
Yeah.
Well, not really, because we pay 20%, but... So he's like from the get-go, he's going to be making more money, but at the same time, he's a salesperson. And if the middle class shrinks, there's going to be a whole lot less people buying the Ab Shaker 3000 or, or whatever stuff they sell on their TV show.
Shaker.
You know what
I know,
they... Yeah.
Bullshit
advertised equipment. Yeah. And so if he can't sell as much as, the Ab Swing 3, like...
Man,
then he's going to be out a whole lot more than he's going to make back in tax.
I'm seriously convinced there's just like a massive orgy going on somewhere in the CBD with every fucking B-grade celebrity, every ingenious entrepreneur, every CEO. They just walk.
That's what I'm saying, Jimmy. That's what I'm.
They clock in at 5:30 every night. They get the rub down, the jerk off.
What else could have... Man,
have it. It's yours.
no, go for
It's all
it.
good.
I've
man.
had 3 of these things. Like,
Yeah, I can't, man. I had a bunch of pizza and shit last night. The menu log. Fuck, I can never remember the name of that fucking app, man.
Yeah.
I'm getting senile. Seriously, I download apps, I forget what they are. But when I need them...
what's that app code?
Seriously, man, that's fucked up. It's a form of senility. Like, I'm losing my shit. I need vitamins. That's really what... Dude, I'm tired, man. I'm fucking physically tired. Like, I said it to my...
fucked.
Dude, I said to my mum the other day, man, like, since August 2011, I've had a total of 4 weeks off work.
Yeah.
Since 2011, working our strenuous physical job. And that, dude, we work weekends and we work
I
public
took
holidays.
2 weeks in 2012. That's it.
Yeah.
For literally the last... So I'm in a pretty good financial situation, so I don't want anyone to cry for me. But, but for the last 3 years, I've been
Get
a
out of our
student.
studio.
I've been a uni student. I've been a full-time uni student and a full-time worker. So I've literally worked at some stage is 8 days a week, which means I'll do uni for 4, and then I would get home Friday, and then go to work Friday night, work Saturday, Sunday, Monday, and then uni.
Yeah.
And that went on from 3 years. From the last holiday I took was 2012 in East Timor, and then I took one late last year in Vietnam.
no,
and
we
from
were
that period, it was just non-stop. I didn't get days off at all.
Do you know what's funny, man? I remember when I was doing audio engineering like 10 years ago, in the first couple of weeks, like everyone's sort of filling each other out, and they'd always see me coming into work, and I'd be wearing my work gear a lot of times. Just, ripped jeans covered in paint or something and fluoro top. And I look like shit. Like I'd just be sitting there slumped over in a chair trying to pay attention, and this one guy looked at me, he was like, "Where'd you just come from?" I just looked at him like, "Work." Where did you just come from? "Oh, you work." What do you mean?
Yeah.
Like literally, it's like, how'd you do this course? Well, my parents put the money up. I didn't think you'd be working.
Cunt.
I'm like, are you joking? Like, dude, like, no. I had to apply for a fucking personal loan, man. I'm working. Yeah, I live at home, but I'm still working, man. Like, what do you mean I've taken a year and a half off just to get this under my belt? Like, how the fuck are you managing to do that, man? And they used to look at me like I was like from another world, man. Like, who is this guy?
Privileged.
Dude, what do you mean, man? I don't know. It's fine. I don't know.
No, we work hard, and we should be adequately reimbursed for that.
But that's disgusting, man, when a CEO can earn 52 mil. 62 mil.
And
And with a blink of an eye, he cuts the livelihood out of 55 people who make the business work, man.
Yeah.
They make...
That's just pure filth.
Yeah. How can that be okay? How can that brewery still be standing? How has it not been burnt to the ground? Mm-hmm. It's like, well, fuck you. How? So, like, someone explain it to me, man.
It's not even like... Yes, it's a horrible thing to do, but has serious long-term economic effects.
Yeah, it'll fuck the workers.
We need a middle class to keep the economy going.
Yeah.
Full stop.
Yeah. But even on a humane level, man, like a human level, just looking at that piece of paper, Like, imagine you were the CEO, right? Put yourself... Like, sometimes there are difficult decisions to be made. You know, someone needs to get laid off. And we're talking like, dude, you run a cafe. Yeah? You run a cafe, employ 10 people. Yeah, what's your turnover per week? Like, I'm not even going to bother trying to figure it out. But, yeah, and so, you know what? We had a really shit run. You know, blah, 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 blah. People are losing their jobs, not coming in to buy coffees anymore. We need to let someone go. Fuck, what do we do? And the dude, you know, is going to turn around, look, Jeff, you know, we can't afford to keep you on anymore, man. Like, I'm barely paying the rent.
Yeah.
Shit thing I have to deal with. Jeff goes home, you know.
Had to be done.
Yeah.
Whatever.
Dude, can you imagine being the CEO, put yourself in Mr. Clark's fucking position, yeah, and just looking at the paperwork in front of you? We're just sitting here with Google, dude. Google, a box of donuts, and we're talking shit. And it's like, can you imagine just putting yourself in that situation? You're just looking at a graph, man, and it's like, we made $4.4 billion last year.
That guy has no empathy.
Yeah, $4.4 billion. If we sack 50 workers,
Like-
we can save maybe $5 million. And, oh, you know what? We'll hire them back at half the money. So they'll cost us another, 2.5 over the next 12 months. Meanwhile, has my accountant done his my taxes yet? I need the tax. I need my fucking... What am I claiming? Am I claiming my car? Am I claiming my phone?
Capital gains discount tax.
Capital gains, yeah. On my $62 million salary. How can you live with yourself looking at those fucking numbers, man?
Yeah, and if it was like, if they'd sat down and they said, okay, we are literally paying these people too much. Like, if it was 15%, like, they sat them down like, we can't pay you what we're paying you.
Yeah.
We're going to lower your wages by 15%. We're going to do it over the next year.
Yeah.
That would be reasonable. No one would complain. But, like, taking their benefits away, taking their sick days away, taking their holidays away, taking their job security away, and then significantly reducing their their hourly rate.
That's just unhuman.
It's just unhuman. So this is not reasonable. If it had been a reasonable decision, we wouldn't be talking about it.
No.
The union wouldn't be on strike.
But the funny part is, man, we don't have any of that shit. Us three as individuals.
We don't.
We don't have job security. We don't have sick days. We don't have holidays. We don't have none of that, man. And how do they justify it? Oh, we get loading, for being casuals or some shit.
An extra $1 or something.
Yeah. We get loading for working the weekends. Like, being available. It's like an extra $20 a week. Some shit. Like, I did the maths, dude. And I think I talked to you about it. I'm not sure. I know I didn't talk to you about it. I'm pretty sure I didn't. And I took, like, what I thought. I looked at my group certificate, for work. And I looked at my wage and for my income for the last year. And I'm like, the last couple of years, the last 2 years, I basically, because of, like, my injuries and just personal shit, I didn't work exceedingly. As in, I didn't take every bit of overtime they gave me. I didn't, my shift would get cancelled. I'd be like, I can't be fucked. Like, I'm not hunting another one down, right? So I earned significantly less. The last 12 months, I sort of did go above and beyond to just, shift got cancelled tomorrow, done. Then change my day off to, I want to shift on that day. Sweet. So I made as much money as I could possibly, given the limitations. And I got a bit of money back, and I'm like, wow, that's probably the most money I've actually ever made, right? Just on paper, And then I looked at it, I'm like, hang on. Take away the tax that I've paid, right? I took away the number of the amount of money for tax.
It's be about 20% for us.
Yeah, and I was generous too. I don't think I even took away 20%. I think I took away a lot less, Then I took away the fact that if I was getting paid like sick days, if I was getting paid, like I said, okay, we get average of 10 sick days a year, if you're a full-time worker, like something like that. Then you get...
Yeah, it's like 8 or something.
3 to 4 weeks annual leave per year. Which you now take in increments of like usually 2 weeks and 2 weeks, only if you're lucky enough to get 4. So I took away roughly 6 weeks of wages, and then looked at it after tax, and I'm like, that's a pretty shit income. Even if I was a full-timer, that'd still be a shitty income. Like you'd barely be scraping through. And then I thought about it, but hang on, man. That's legitimately what you're getting, because they consider the fact that we get paid a bit more as casual workers. Then, like, that should justify not having...
Yeah, we get... So I think it's 7% casual loading.
Whatever, right? And then I thought about it, I'm like, hang on, man. Even with that, you take away... If I put that in the theoretical sick day and annual leave fund, like, I legitimately saved the money that was allocated to me, the so-called perceived higher wage, that's still a shit wage. And the reality is... I don't have job security. I still work weekends. I still work public holidays. I don't have sick days.
Getting 0 holidays.
Yeah. So I don't have all the fucking benefits of a full-time fucking job. I'm actually earning a pretty shitty average wage.
And your body gets no rest at all.
My body gets no rest. My brain doesn't get any rest. My mental state is fucking shot to shit, and I have no security whatsoever. How is that fucking fair, man? And we're at the top end of the spectrum as far as like our type of jobs. Yeah, our jobs, our industry, our environment, like all that sort of stuff, man. We're at the top end.
Yep.
How the fuck does that work?
So on top of that, right? We work shift. We're on-call shift workers. So you hear Johnny say it all the time. It's like, I've got to go to work. I've got to make a midnight shift. And
You working tomorrow, by the way?
Nah. My one day off.
That's why he's all right.
I got a message from work before, so...
Oh, really?
Yeah.
What time?
I don't know. I didn't check. Hold on. Just wait for my phone to... We're all checking our phones, seeing if they actually work tomorrow.
Hey, do you want to laugh? I got an email. I just saw it now. Dude, I haven't looked at my phone for like an hour or two. Dude, I got an email. World Vision E-News. Thank you for transforming lives. Dude, I don't remember the last time I gave money to World Vision, if I've ever given money to World Vision. Who's transforming lives? And you know what they've got, man? Seriously? They've got... All I can see is a picture of... they look like they're South Asian kids, like Indian or Bengalese or something. Then you got a picture of a woman in a hijab. Oh, it's in Syria. It says a little thing about Syria. And then a picture of some Africans and a nun.
So,
yeah, man. No worries.
So we earn what, an average Australian wage?
After
59. Well, no, 54. The average Australian wage is 59,000. That's about ballpark what I got last year.
yeah, depending on what you work. I mean, what hours you work, what shifts you take.
But we also do physical work, and the permanent damage that does to our bodies is obvious.
You know what? That's what I always say to people when they tell me that I'm tired. I'm so fucking tired. It's like, dude, come and do my job.
Yeah, go lift 1.5 ton
per hour
for 8 hours and see what happens. Yeah,
and then not get rest because you've literally finished work, come home, you shower, you change, go back to bed, and get back up.
That is doing permanent long-term damage to our body.
Yeah,
and we get paid a little bit extra because we do manual labour.
Yeah,
we also get paid a little bit extra if you do night shift, except if you start after 4
a.m. does not include night shift anymore.
Include night shift, yeah.
So 4 a.m. to 5 a.m.
Do you guys know the increased health risks you get from the working shift work?
Yeah.
Yeah.
So what?
I listened to a whole podcast on it.
betterhealth.vic.
Yeah.
.gov. Increased likelihood of obesity, increased risk of cardiovascular disease, so that's heart attacks.
Totally fucks you up.
Dude, because you don't get time to cook. You're eating shit.
It's just a shift work.
Yeah.
That's like separate from eating.
Yeah.
So you've got the bad diet on top of that.
Yeah.
So higher risk of mood changes, increased risk of gastrointestinal problems.
I've got all those, man. I'm telling you.
Higher risk of motor vehicle accidents or work-related accidents, increased likelihood of family problems, including divorce, probable increased risk of cancer, especially breast cancer.
Dude, I'm the most irritable, moody motherfucker, like bipolar style.
Increased risk of epilepsy.
You're just reading a checklist of all the shit that's wrong with me, doctor.
And we're supposed, part of, a big chunk of our money comes from the fact that we do night shift, except we don't get paid night shift rates before 4 a.m.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Dude, I'm everything that you just read out.
Yeah.
And it's just purely a result. And you know what shits me? It's just, go find another job. Dude, you find me another job and I'll take it.
Yeah. I've looked.
Yeah. You find me another fucking job, man. Seriously. What are we meant to be doing? Especially, dude, the thing is, you're educated, man. You're educated, and I'm not going to say outright, you got more options than we do, but it's just like, man, a lot of people just look at me and say, well, you've studied. I'm like, what have I studied? Nothing that can actually get me a job. Dude, when I did HR, when I did my advanced dip in business, which was the first thing right out of high school, just because I didn't get into a uni, I got into a TAFE, and of course I didn't even fucking pick, but it was just offered. I'm like, well, I can't do nothing. I've got to figure something out, right? Dude, everything I learned doing that course is completely, you can't apply it to today's fucking thing. Industrial relations laws changed.
Because it's all changed.
Everything's changed.
Yeah.
I'd have to do another year and a half of refreshing just to get the qualification. You know what the fucking irony of it? Man, this is the other thing. Straight out of that course, there were a lot of guys that were trying to get jobs in the field of HR and business and management and all that. Just, and they're willing to work. They'll take on anything, yeah? One poor kid, man, this is when I just said, I can't even be bothered doing this. He saw all these things. Are like basically like internships, right, with just different companies, including like supermarkets and just stuff. And it was basically people that have got an interest in this field of HR and management and all that sort of stuff. We take you on board. We train you. Like, you need to. We do all that, and we give you a job. Like, your first starting is like junior wages, and then like after 6 months, whatever, right? You get upgraded and so on and so on. They wouldn't take him on because he had experience and qualifications in the field. And it's like, what do you mean experience? Dude, I just did a business course for a year. It's a certificate and a diploma, an advanced dip. And he said, no,
because it's not relevant or whatever.
No. Because you're going in with a mindset already created by someone else.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
It's like, what mindset? I've just learned some tech.
Skills and...
Yeah. He goes, I will work for free. I will work for free for a minimum of however many months I can just to sorry, we're looking for people with no experience or no education. What the fuck is wrong with you?
So I just wasted my time, thanks for that.
Yeah. Dude, how the fuck? Do you know what I mean? Like, fuck, man. I don't know. It's just... The whole system is just fucked, man. Man, I did not know the CEO earned 62 million.
That's blown my mind.
That's a stupid number.
I don't know why that guy needs that much
on
money.
your face is perfect, man. Like,
Well, just...
But that's like...
I feel like your soul like left your body.
It did for a second. It did.
Like slammed back in there.
Dude, have you ever read about like the Macquarie bankers? Like, they're considered the big boys of the money bin, yeah? Macquarie, up north, yeah? Sydney from further up. I had a friend from back in the day whose old man was actually a Macquarie, like, director.
Big wig.
Yeah, he was like the director of like investments, Macquarie Investments or some shit. You could look up his salary online. Like, his salary for like 2003 or something was like 22 million, right? Not including whatever else he was doing, like on the side and shit. And then you got like a dozen of these dudes just sitting in a room playing with themselves, talking about numbers, trends in the stock market and like shit like that. Like, too much. Like, that's what I'm saying. Like, we put it down to one. Like, CUB, man, pretty big company, right? It's one that we all know, one that we can see everywhere. It's not like it's some fucking niche offshore shit. It's here. You can literally drive to the brewery if you want to go see it. $62 million this prick is bringing home, all right, for sitting at the top of the table, and the people that make the fucking machine work so he can make $62 million.
Yeah. So he can make
they're worth $5.5 million at the most. And they're people with families and with fucking all that sort of shit. Blink of an eye.
Doing that, fuck, man.
Nah,
That's just...
it's like Caesar just putting his fucking thumb down, off with their heads, fuck them. Figure it out. Dude, if you tried to take... he would expect to be making more money every year.
Yeah.
Seriously. We can't negotiate our rate. Like, think about that. Because, like, we walk into work, we signed up with the agency, and they said, this is what you're doing, this is your rate, enjoy. Yeah?
Yeah.
And we turned up. And we do the job, and we go home, and that's it. This motherfucker, his contract would be up for renewal on any given Sunday. He'll just roll out of bed, scratch his balls, and say, you know what? Oh, I want another fucking house in, Milan. I'm going to go in and fight for another $1 million. Why? Because CUB made...
Just a casual, what is that? Another $1 million would be less than 2% raise.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah. Cheeky. When was the last time...
Yeah, just give me an extra 2%.
When did we get a 2% raise, man? And we've been there
I've been in a warehouse, working in the same warehouse for a long time, and I think my pay rate's gone up like $3-4 since I've been there.
I'm earning less money now, man, than when I first started, dude. I'm not even joking. But think about that, man. Yeah? Any given Sunday, he can just use the numbers from the previous year, say, listen, we made $4.4 billion. And you know what? He'll have the balls to say this. That's you, dude. Dude, he'll have the balls to walk into the next staff meeting and literally say something like, I saved us $5.5 million last year. Heck, what's in it for me next year?
Yep.
No shit.
Yep.
Am I he'll do it?
Does this guy not have any, like, emotions or compassion?
Reptilians, man.
How do you not have compassion for people, and how can you just do that, like, willingly? How?
Did you guys hear about Malcolm Turnbull's paid internship program?
No. That's it. We're getting on it, man. I'm going to go pull the suit out and get it dry cleaned. Let's do it. What is it? I want to hear it.
Okay, so
the Liberals are really dragging on people that don't have jobs, yeah? So there was Senator, I can't remember his name, guy from Queensland, I think, who come out recently and said we should cut off the dole after 6 months because it'll, people get a job if we do that. So, and remember last time I was in here, I brought in the sheet that showed me where our money went.
Yeah.
And last year we spent $60 billion on welfare. It's a huge amount of money.
You had that whole thing about
do you guys remember
artist.
Do you guys remember how much of that $160 billion went to unpaid or unemployed people?
No, I don't remember.
Come on, $160 billion on welfare. Give us a guess.
No, I'm not, dude. I'm
your turn.
I'm like a fucking idiot. I can't. It's not my turn. Look at me.
So it was,
It's like,
I'm not guessing again.
my self-esteem is already low, man.
it was
Like,
$11 billion went to unemployed and sick people.
okay.
So they're making a big fuss about, imagine how much money we could save if we cut off the dole after 6 months.
If you're spending 160,
No, 11.
11.
yeah, no,
On unemployed
160 was just
Total welfare. So that includes pension, paid parents,
okay.
yeah,
All right.
government pension.
So people walking into Centrelink, Medicare, all that sort of shit.
People who don't have jobs
Yeah.
get $11 billion from the government each year.
Yeah.
And this is a really big deal for the Liberals. So this guy from Queensland, this Liberal senator from Queensland, said we should cut off the dole for 6 months because that'll fix the problem. We'll save ourselves $3 billion. So Malcolm Turnbull came out with a paid internship program. So what he's going to do is, if you don't have a job, he's going to pay a company to hire you as an intern. He's going to pay them $1,000. They're going to hire you as an intern to give you a job, and give you work experience.
Yeah.
Yeah, so when you can't find a job, so your brother, right, is getting a qualification. So he's, eventually going to leave the warehouse. So this would be right up his alley. A company's going to get paid $1,000 to hire him as an intern, and he's going to get work experience. How much do you think that that company that just got $1,000 from the government for hiring you for a minimum period of 4 weeks is going to pay you per hour?
So hang on. The company's going to get $1,000
Straight up.
all right, as incentive to hire you for 4 weeks.
A minimum of 4 weeks.
Minimum of 4 weeks. They're getting $1,000 just as in like, come on, mate, do us a favour. Here's a nice little. It's like buy yourself a couple slabs worth $1,000 of like the best shit you've got. Yeah. I don't know. I actually don't know.
Hourly rate, come on.
I know it's gonna be something ludicrous. It's gonna be less than $20, man. Like,
$15.
So generous. So generous still.
$10.
Do you know what's scary though? This is the scary part. Like, you look at Arthur, right, and you think this guy's put together pretty well. Like, he presents it like, look at him. He's got a scarf, G-Star jacket, like, the specs. He looks smart, man. He looks sharp. And we're sitting here given these generous numbers because we're idiot laymen. We've got no idea. But it's like, yeah, people will be nice. But this is the man that wants
still decency left,
he
right?
wants to get into politics at some point and has the background info on everything. The smile, you can see him just shaking your hand while he's like, he's got the knife just waiting to come in at the side of the jugular. I'm glad I know you, dude, because I hope to God you remember me when I'm shoveling coal past your mansion. One day he's going to... Do you know what you can see him doing, dude? He's going to have, like, a house on an estate somewhere.
It's alright, damn, if I have my way, after I get my $1,000 from the government, I will pay you $7 an hour to stand in front of a windmill.
Fuck off!
$7.
$7?
Yeah.
Fuck off.
Legit. So, it's going to cost the government $840 million a year, right? And it basically... So we talked about how much the New Start allowance was, yeah? So I think it was $240 a week or something, we figured out. A bit more than that, $260 a week. So you're going to get slightly more money, like an extra $100 a week, to work as an intern.
Yeah, do you know how many... Okay, you said that they have to employ you for a minimum of 4 weeks, yeah?
Yeah.
Do you know what $7 an hour times 36 hours a week times 4 weeks equals?
What?
3.9. 3.9 weeks.
Yeah.
So that $1,000 is literally you working for $7 an hour for 4
Working
weeks.
for free.
Yeah, working for free. That's the incentive. They're like, here you go, buddy. Here's $1,000. Just get yourself a fucking kid in there for a couple hours. Not a couple hours, 36 hours a week for a month. Have some help. Meanwhile, there's a poor bastard at a cafe that's struggling and has to sack the 15-year-old cleaner and then clean up himself because he can't afford to fucking pay him anymore. Man. How fucking disgusting is that?
It's also...
Dude, the numbers don't lie, man. They're right there. They're right there.
So it's also illegal under current laws.
What's illegal?
The internship program, paying people that small amount of money to work.
Yeah, what's the minimum wage? $15? I don't even know.
It's a bit more than that now.
Really?
Yeah.
Oh, thank God.
Yeah.
16.
So to do that,
16.
it's currently illegal, right? So Malcolm Turnbull, to make this a thing, would have to actually lower our working standards. And it goes back to the Carlton Brewery thing. If you are going to pay your middle class people, middle and lower class, people less, there's going to be significantly less money in the economy. Right? So less people buying fish and chips, less people buying beer, less people buying iPhones. So when you lower the standards of the middle and lower class,
it's not good in the long term.
Because 55 workers earning a lot less money each week is going to have a significantly bigger effect on the economy than one guy working 62, earning $62 million.
I'm actually really down, man. I'm down just thinking about those two things. 62 million versus 55 workers earning fuck all out on the street.
Yeah, that's depressing.
And one kid on an internship under Malcolm Turnbull's fucking program, earning $7 a fucking day. That's not an hour. Sorry.
Yeah.
$7 an hour. 8 hours. 8 times 7.
There's 25, I think. 25 a week. According to the Sydney Morning Herald article I'm reading.
25 hours a week.
Yeah.
Do you know, like, this kid will be in there for free. They'll exploit the living shit out of him, getting to do all the fucking monkey work that no one wants to do. Probably doing the work someone in there that's a full-timer will be doing.
So if this person was unemployed, they'd be getting a new sale allowance of $263, or they could work for 25 hours a week and get $364 a week. So for 25 hours work, they're essentially getting an extra $101.
Yeah. And they'll be out of the door after 4 weeks.
Yeah.
And they're just bringing it. Dude, Malcolm, we need another worker in here, mate. The photocopier keeps jamming and the coffee runs aren't being that quick. Yeah, no worries, buddy. Here's $1,000. Go find yourself another lackey. Do you know how fucking disgusting that is?
Yeah.
Depressing.
And it affects, like I was thinking of your brother, because it could directly affect him. And he's not going to do that. He's not going to go be an intern for somewhere for $360 a week, is he?
No.
So he's going to be stuck working in a warehouse the rest of his life.
What's the incentive, man, to do that shit?
Yeah.
Dude, I couldn't do it. At 31 years old, you want me working for $300 a week, man? When knowing, like, what my role would be worth as well? Because it's not like, dude, they wouldn't have you in there just getting coffee. You'd be working.
You have to be skilled, yeah?
Yeah, they're skilled internships. It's not like you're just fucking shoveling shit. You know? And it's like, man, I'm not going to fucking do that. I'm not 14 years old on work experience. What if you got a kid or a wife? You know? That just sucks the morale right out of you, man, and you can't be fucked.
Actually, I just checked this for people under 25 years old.
Oh, good, so I'm not even eligible. Perfect.
No slave labour for you, Dim.
No, I'm already doing it at the premium
level. You know what
level.
we should do? We just start a company. You guys should hire me as a intern. Get you $1,000, charge me, pay me $7 an hour as an intern. For, I don't know.
What would the qualifications be for that, though? As in, what would you need to qualify in order to apply for that internship program to get $1,000? Would you need, like, having been established, minimum turnover, employee, like, you'd have to have something.
Who knows? Like, how much oversight is this program going to have? And is the oversight going to cost more than the $840?
Yeah, man. I love these little genius bullshit things, man. And the fact that, like, who did I say it to? Did I say it to you? I think, I don't know if I said it to you, I said it to you, Johnny, but I said how they're even considering... What's wrong?
Sorry, automatic ads keep playing on my phone.
Oh, stand. Every time you look at a news thing, you just scroll down and it just flies up.
I love those automatic ads.
Oh, they're fucking
the best thing ever.
I just said how, like, the whole Turnbull thing was like, we will not be getting rid of penalty rates, we will not be getting rid of, like, all that sort of shit.
Medicare.
Yeah, Medicare. But they're still talking about it. It's been how long since the election?
It's going to happen.
They're still talking about it. It's the fact that it's still in discussion is just like we're still talking about something you said that wasn't going to happen.
He froze how much. So when you go to the doctor and you get bulk billed, the doctor will get reimbursed a certain amount of money, right? And because of inflation, that sort of amount of money have to go up. So, you get a checkup from the doctor, it might cost you $100 this year, but then next year it's going to cost you a little bit more because of inflation. So Malcolm Turnbull froze the Medicare rebate. Yeah, so the doctor can only get the same amount of money back each year.
Yeah.
So he's essentially doing it it's like death by a thousand cuts.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's like,
so
you know what? This year you'll make.
So the doctor,
the
doctor will not be able to bulk bill you because he just doesn't get enough money back from the government to justify it, which means that he's going to have to charge you $10, and then the year after that it might be $20.
Yeah.
So Labor made a mistake because they said that. Well, it wasn't really a mistake, but they said that the Liberals were going to privatise Medicare.
Yeah.
And they're not. They're just going to weaken it to the point where it's essentially privatised.
Yeah. Privatisation without privatising.
Yeah.
Yeah, I know what you mean. That's... yeah.
Cunts.
Yeah, and I mean, they were doing this before the election.
Yeah.
And...
But it's what people read and what they hear, man. They don't give a fuck. It's just what they can get out first, just to win the fucking masses over.
That's it, in a nutshell.
Yeah, dude, look at the Brexit, man. Britain. Okay? We want out of the European Union. Okay. Why? No one fucking knows. Well, after the vote went in, the most Googled thing, literally the most Googled thing in the UK was...
Brexit.
What is Brexit? What is Europe?
What is the EU? Yeah.
Yeah. You fucking idiots voted with the masses. Yeah, we want out. What are we getting out of again? Dude, the smoke... Dude, the fires, the smoke of the water, man. Like, you know what I mean?
And then all the politicians that were for the exit made all these promises during the campaign, like, there's going to be, $360 million
whatever
each day or something that we're going to invest in education and health. And then, it happened and oh, no. Because it was, again...
Can't afford that.
It was a straight-up lie, because with the EU, you would pay in a certain amount of money, and the EU would redistribute that amount of money to things in your country.
Yeah.
So it wasn't like they were just they're throwing money across the
it's not
pond.
like, we're paying our membership fee and that's it. Dude, there's benefits that come with membership.
Yeah. And so Dude,
if China decided to invade Britain tomorrow, is anyone in the European Union obligated to help Britain?
Well, NATO, I think.
Other than NATO. Yeah, I'm saying nationwide.
But it's not even that, man. It's just trade standards. Yeah. So now what it used to be is if I wanted to trade to any country in the European Union, I would have to do the same paperwork. So that's France, that's Germany, that's the UK.
Yeah.
So now I have to redo, if I was selling iPhones to the UK, I would have to redo all my paperwork to sell to the thingo. And then there's also European standards, yeah? So you buy something and you expect it to work throughout the UK.
Yeah.
Yeah. So and there's a lot of standards now that aren't going to be an issue, and now as well, if you're up in the UK, you can't work outside of the UK.
Yeah.
So, this is a really, really basic example, but essentially the UK is like Victoria, and the EU is like the country Australia. Yeah. So we have Victoria has different laws to New South Wales.
Yeah.
Like the definition of assault will be slightly different. There might be crimes in New South Wales that aren't crimes in Victoria.
Yeah.
But essentially, you cross the border and there are standards. There are national standards. And there are, international trade standards. You don't have to get a visa to go work in New South Wales.
Yeah.
And there are benefits to that.
Yeah.
And,
now it's we want out.
Yeah.
For what reason, man? What was the whole reason for leaving?
Because people, them immigrants, were coming into the country and stealing jobs. Which and there were some EU regulations that were restrictive. So I'm not it's not all good. The EU isn't the best thing in the world, but the benefits outweigh the negatives. Yeah. So, and the UK really had to fight to get in. It took a lot of effort for the UK to get in.
Yeah.
And then,
retards. Boys, I'm just going to say it. That's 4 hours.
Ah,
Oh
shit.
my
We just clocked
Lord.
4 hours, man. And the first part was 2 hours. So we've done 2 hours and 2 hours, man. We better call it because to convert all this shit's going to take another 40 minutes. It's already 5:30. We're sitting here, man. Fucking 4 hours, man. The fuck? Good chat. All I can say is thanks for coming down with your notes, dude. Yeah, our political correspondent. Man, I'm fucking backing you. I'm telling you to lead us into the new light. We need to start the church.
Lead us into the promised land.
Yeah.
We need, you know what the funny part is because no one can actually see it, but the entire time when he's about to rattle off like some fact, you just get frustrated, and I just see you like you run your hand through your hair, and you just take a sigh, like your brain's just trying to get your head around.
Slightly
this.
frazzled, just collects himself.
Can you see him in like 20 years as a senator, and then some dickhead just opens their mouth and says some shit, and it's like, can we get a comment from Arthur? It's like,
So for the first part, I have 4,500 words of notes. So I like to be accurate, and then the second half I didn't have any notes, and it really frustrates me when I'm not 100%.
dude, the problem is our government is not 100%. Our government is nowhere near 50%.
yeah.
All right. And the big boys at the top aren't doing the homework. Like the CUB cunt has not done his homework. He's just looked at 62 million. I can say 5.5. Yeah.
Yeah, and he'll get himself a tasty bonus, and he doesn't care about what happens to the Australian
I was
economy
just saying,
in the process.
dude, when you walked out before because your phone was going off, I said to Johnny that this dude, when he goes to negotiate his next wage, he's going to use the 5 million that he saved in the previous year. He's going to use that as listen, I saved 5 million outright, so I need something extra this year.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Slap an extra mil, just 2% increase or whatever we said.
Yeah.
It's a reality, man, and that's fucked. That's why, like, man, that's the thing with these podcasts do. Like, we talk a lot of shit, but a lot of stuff is researched. As in, even like with Statsman going, or one of us just pulled out the phone and just double check what the fuck we're saying.
It's not
We
just all
try.
garbage.
Yeah, we try.
Unlike this Murdoch Media article from the Australian,
fucking lie.
which was out by several,
yeah,
by 4 or 5 times. Numbers just completely made up.
yeah, made up. But people are going to fucking jump all over that, man.
Yeah.
And you know what? I always say too, anyone fucking listening to this shit, man, if they have a difference of opinion and have some shit behind it, whether it's a personal experience or a fact, bring it up, and we'll rectify it, or we'll talk about it, whatever it is, man.
So yeah, hands down, look into the relationship between Australia and East Timor.
But most people don't give a fuck.
Yeah.
They just see, Islam going off in, Germany, and it's like, oh my God. But, man, I've got a mate of mine travelling through Europe. I've got a lot of mates travelling through Europe. But I've got one mate that just left Morocco and landed in London. Yeah? And the first thing she said was, I saw more burqas, not just hijabs where it's just like burqas, right, full up to the eyes. I saw more people like that in Heathrow Airport than I did in Morocco, right? And she goes, man, like Morocco, man, it's Muslim. Like, and she goes, man, I saw more people in London like that, man, and people losing their shit.
In this previous election, we just elected our first female Muslim. She doesn't wear a hijab.
Yeah,
So, like, hijab, burqa, that's not a Muslim thing. It's
no,
yeah, and I mean, even the Bible, like the Christian Bible, says that a woman should cover her hair. So
why do nuns wear a habit?
I mean, so this is very rude and very offensive. But wearing her hijab is like cutting off the end of your dick. It sounds like
Took you 4 hours, my friend, but you got there.
It sounds like a horrible idea, but then you realise a very large chunk of the male population of this country cut off the end of their dick.
Not me.
So yeah,
Not me, my friend. I'm Greek.
Mine's still intact.
Yeah. Dude.
So yeah, from the outside, a thing like a woman covering her hair it is offensive. It is sexist. It's
Whatever it is.
yeah, but from a woman who wears a hijab every day, she doesn't think of it like that.
No, it's a normal fucking thing.
Yeah, just like being circumcised.
Yeah, no shit.
Yeah.
So it's a cultural thing. It doesn't.
If you don't understand it, you don't understand it. But that's it.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? It's just like, you cunts are all fucked. Anyway, alright, let's just wrap it. But man, thanks for the chat. And yeah, come up with some more shit. We're gonna do this again, like in a week.
Peace.
Yeah.
Juke leverage out.